Okay. Let me just line this thing up right here. We're about to start this thing right here. Let me just line this thing right here. We're about to start this thing right here. Yes. It's the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. OMG, what the dickens is going on? Could somebody please tell me what's going on? OMG. It's some madness. Going down. We got YG Knight, who is the chief stirrer. He's the man with the wooden spoon, likes to start ish and then disappears, but for once he's shown up. Let's see how long he sticks around to be shown up. I hope you got your wooden spoon, bro. You like to stir things up backstage. Okay, well, you asked for it, so you gon' get it. No problem, mate. No problem. You know, you try to run your show, you try to do a show, and next man comes in with an opinion, slow roasts himself, and now you got a raggle-taggle crew trying to come at the Rafi. Because the next man self-roasted himself. Is you crazy? Not even are you crazy. I'm going to say, is you crazy? Yes. Okay, we get into that roasting. The roasting of last night, the self-roasting. Rafi was just chilling. The guy came and self-roasted himself. And I don't know, man. It seems like, I don't know. It was nothing to me. I was just doing my show. If a man wants to come and self-roast himself, hey, that's all cool in the gang, bro. I don't mind. If a man wants to come on and self-roast himself, I don't mind. It's no problem. It's just fun to me. We're just entertaining the people, and it was a highly entertaining show. You're probably saying, what show am I talking about? Uno momento. Hold on. What's that there? Yeah, update that. You go and update that in the background. So where are we? Anyway, let me just get, what was I saying? What was the last thing I said? Okay, let me take a little looky. What is that? And what is that? Okay, I see what this is. Let me just take a little looky, see what's going on. Okay, so should this not be monetized? I think it should be, yeah, monetization thing should be on. Okay, we're good. And what was the show last night? Yeah, the show last night was titled Better Quality Win, Fury over Wilder or Joshua over Povetkin. And if you're checking that out, you probably want to, well, anyway, that's a different show. That was last night. Now we're here. You can check that one out afterwards if you haven't checked it already. Classic show. And as a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, I've been looking for this thing, emblem, for a while now. Now I found it. How am I going to use this? Well, that should be in the title, no? That should be... I'm going to get to you in the chat in a second. We're just getting situated with this shiznix right here. Let me look. Let me see how I'm going to... Something I want to do right now. Let me see how I do this. Okay, give me a second. What happens if I do that? Weekend, potential... Okay, that's fine. Okay, so everything's in order there. Okay, so let me just make sure everything is super duper, ship shape and Bristol fashion. Let me go check that one. Yeah, okay, that's good. It's all good. It's all good. Everything is where it's supposed to be. And I think we are in position. I think we're in position now to go ahead with the show. Everything seems appropriate. Ticking all the check boxes. Okay. Okay. So let me just put this in here. There we go. Paste. Yeah. Okay. A little bit of space. Okay. So let me just get the, oh, I see what's wrong. I see exactly what's wrong. I knew something wasn't right. Where are we? Beef stew simmering. It seems so. It seems so. Seems like there's some beef stew simmering, but I ain't the cook. I ain't cooking up nothing. I'm just doing shows, entertaining the troops, entertaining the people. And, you know, I don't know. We're going to have to find out. Hold on a second. Let me drop the link in the chat. How rude of me. Hold on. You know how people be. I'm going to drop the link in a second. I'm going to drop the link in a second. I'm just making sure I'm backstage, making sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. Making sure everything, all the boxes that need to be checked are checked. You can preview. Yeah, this is, oh, damn it. That's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. This is what I really, really want to do. Okay. You know, I'm not going to say I'm a perfectionist because nothing is perfect, but I do like to give a good presentation. I'm not going to lie. I like to present things nicely. I like to cross the I's and dot the T's. Can't lie. So boom. Okay. So we got that in there. Is there something else that's missing? I knew there was something missing. Damn it. I knew there was something missing. Couldn't tell what it was, but boom. Okay. So I think everything looks nice and copacetic. Nice and copacetic right about now. So without further ado, let me just drop the link in the chat right here. Boom. There it is. Link is in the chat. Can you see it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let me remind people, the show is, this is the weekend fight preview. Okay. So that's one. That was supposed to be the show, but I don't know. I think somebody got self-roasted last night and I don't know. Had some backstage meetings, had some group telephone calls, and as a consequence, expect a raggle-taggle battalion to come try and storm the building. Expect a raggle-taggle battalion to come and try storm the building. So don't be surprised, and the link is there. So, you know, hey, want to try storm the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio? Then if you've been having backstage meetings, group telephone calls, trying to arrange it, hey, be my guest. Come and try your luck. Come and try your luck. But beware. Tread with caution, because you know the Rafi keeps receipts. So tread very carefully when you come for the Rafi. Tread very, very carefully. You know what I mean? Don't come all confident. Don't come all confident. What actually happened? Was, I did a show. You know, the title of the show, the last show I did. What's the title of that show again? Hold on. Save that. Cancel that. Save that. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat. Hold on. Is that saved? Is that good? Is that safe and secure? I think that's safe and secure. Okay. So the name of the show was Better Quality Win. Fury over Wilder or Joshua over Povetkin. And it was a good show. People were highly entertained. How long did that thick shizzle last? Yeah, that shiz lasted around 3.5 hours. Okay, the pertinent point starts from around maybe 1 hour. I'd say 1 hour 15. 1 hour 15. That's when it gets really cooking hot. That's when it got hot, super hot. Anyway, somebody came over here. We had a nice chat. It was all cool in the gang, and the person left, and everything was cool and copacetic. I thought everything was cool and copacetic, but I guess some backstage kind of phone calls were made, some group chats were had, and, the Rafi wakes up in the morning and finds, some backstage private chats, and I hear my name, I see my name written. Why is Rafi doing this? Why is Rafi doing this? Why is this Raphael guy? So I, click the button, I go over. I say, what happening? What happened? What happened? And, Rafi, you did this. Rafi, you did that. Rafi, you got roasted. Me? Get roasted last night? Really? The only person who could say that, bro, is somebody who never saw the show. The only person who could say that is somebody who never saw the show. But I was cool. I wasn't roasting anybody. If somebody wanted to self-roast themselves, that's cool in the gang. I never roasted nobody. I was just chilling. I was just chilling in the cut. And then I wake up this morning. Oh, Rafi, you got roasted. You what? Did you actually listen to the show? I wasn't trying to roast nobody. But if somebody self-roasted themselves, is that my fault? And now I got a bunch of raggle-taggles. Trying to say, Rafi, you got roasted. Really? Where? Where did I get roasted? I could go anywhere on the timeline and show you where somebody roasted themselves. Show me where I got roasted. Is you foolish? Is you foolish? So anyway, expect a battalion of raggle-taggles. Expect a raggle-taggle battalion. Oh, and here's the chief stirrer. The chief stirrer, Mr. YG Knight. He always starts it, but he always runs away and lets other people get into what he started. You see the links in the chat, and he ain't nowhere to be found. As a matter of fact, let me do a little check. Let me do a little quick check. Boom. Okay, I can see him somewhere else. Backstage chatting. I don't know what he's chatting about this time. But yeah, he's the chief stirrer. Stirs it up, whips people up, and then disappears. So yeah, YG Knight, you played yourself yet again. But now I said that, he might actually grow a pair. I doubt it, but he might actually grow a pair. Facts don't care about feelings. And ain't that the truth? But you know what I'm going to do right about now? I think what I'm going to do right about now is I'm going to play a short warming video. I'm going to play a short warming video, and then we're going to get into it. We're going to get into the subject matter, but expect us to be interrupted by a raggle-taggle bunch. So expect that. While I'm doing my thing, while I'm feeding the people, expect some interruption. What's going on here? Okay, I see that over there. Okay, it's got nothing to do with us. Where's the quick live? Where's the quick video? A nice little short video. And then when I come back on the other side of the video, we're going to get straight into what we're supposed to be doing. And we're supposed to be talking about this weekend's fights. Okay, so let me line that up. What is this? I pressed the wrong thing. Yeah, go back. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Okay. Okay, so let me take the volume off that. Let me stop sharing that and stop sharing this. Stop that. Start this. Okay, so 5 minutes time, when I come back at the end of this, we're going to get straight into what we should be talking about. Boom. I think that's a little 5-minute video. Okay, let me kill that and start. Where is it? Is this it? Okay, full screen and start this. Mr. Raphael Dawkins to the Combat Radio. And today we're looking at the words of Dillian Whyte post Povetkin fight, post defeat of the hands of Povetkin. Okay, and as you will already know, Dillian Whyte immediately after the fight, sought out Eddie Hearn and asked him to invoke the rematch clause, get that started underway immediately. Eddie Hearn said he's on it. I'm on it. And here we get the chance, a few days removed from that, to listen to the words of Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, take it away.
I've never been this excited for a fight before in my life. I swear to God, I was excited for the first fight, but no, it's like turning pro all over again. You know, when you first do, this is how I feel. It's like turning pro all over again. That's how I feel. You know, I'm just like I'm buzzing. I want to go to training now. I'm forcing myself to take 2 weeks rest. But listen, it's all good. Listen, I'm a guy that I learn quick. You know, it's all good. Listen, you know, now I can't wait. I just can't wait to get back in there. Man. I just want to go. I want to go now. I've never been this excited for a fight before.
Okay, so those are the words which followed this action. OMG. Okay, so the words after the action. Dillian Whyte wants to get right back in there. 2 weeks break, and then Xavier Miller flies back out to Portugal, and they get the ball rolling again. And it's funny because I was watching back the Anthony Joshua fight with Povetkin, and we saw the combination. We saw something very similar to the combination which finished. Dillian Whyte. We saw a left hook followed by an uppercut. Is this it? No, that was just the hook. The sequence I saw was the same combination, or a very, very similar combination, the one that finished Dillian Whyte. It was a left hook, left uppercut, which missed against Joshua, but unfortunately connected against Whyte. So I've always wondered why people underestimated Povetkin. What do you think about him now? For all those who underestimated Povetkin, what do you think about him now? Highlight me now. Some food for thought. Go back and watch the Joshua Povetkin fight. Some very, very interesting moments, some interesting tells. It's fascinating watch, absolutely fascinating. But this video is to relay Dillian Whyte's mood and just take another look at the Povetkin. Was he one of the bogeymen of the division? A lot of people saying Ortiz was the bogeyman. But has Povetkin been one of the most avoided heavyweights out there? It's just some food for thought. But in the meantime, yes, re-energize, Dillian Whyte, re-energize and arise. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if you can do it. It's an interesting challenge ahead, and we look forward to it. Bated breath. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with to stay updated with news and notifications. Remember, if you never fall, how can you rise? It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. And I'm out. Okay, it is the resting moment. Okay. Okay, so let's get this back right. And let us start the music. Let's go. Okay, so let's stop sharing that. Okay, so we good now. And what we're looking at next? Okay, so it's the Raphael Dawkins, it's the Combat Radio, and we are now live and popping. We're getting ready for this. Get into this. Okay, we're going to get straight into the weekend fights and previews. Okay, so without further delay, where do we start? Okay, let me share this. With you. Boom. Okay, so how's this looking on the screen? Let's make it a tad bigger so everybody can see this thing. Okay, how's that look? Okay, that's good. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, so so Daniel Dubois is ready to do his part. Daniel Dubois versus Schneider's is on ESPN Plus. On BT Sports over here in the UK. I'm going to get to the chat in a second after we cover this one. I think this is the biggest fight in the UK this weekend? I think so. Okay. So, Dubois Schneider's weighing report from East London. Okay, so Daniel Dubois is ready to do his part to move towards a highly anticipated all-British heavyweight showdown later this year. First up for arguably the best heavyweight prospect in the world right now is a scheduled 12-round clash versus the Netherlands, Ricardo Schneiders. 18 wins, 1 loss, 8 KOs. The bout takes place on Saturday evening live from a BT Sports studio in East London. It's airing live on BT Sport in the UK and ESPN in the US. That's 2 p.m. Eastern time. That don't make no sense to us. 2 p.m. Eastern time? What? What time is that fight happening in the UK? Why are they giving us the American time? What about the English time? Okay, I'll get the English time in a second. Hold on. Actually, I should have it on my TV. Hold on. Let me turn that on like that. Okay, if it's turned on at all, yeah. Both boxers clocked in at the career heaviest weight, though well proportioned on their respective frames. Okay, that's a picture of Daniel Dubois there. Okay, Daniel Dubois weighed in at 244 pounds, while Schneider's, a late replacement for the medically scratched Eric Pfeiffer, checked in at 215 pounds. Okay, 244 versus 215. 244, 215. Okay, Dubois fights for the first time in 2020 after a breakout year in 2019, a campaign which saw the Londoner, who celebrates his 23rd birthday in early September, score 4 knockout wins in as many fights. The most impressive of the lot was the 5th round stoppage of his countryman, Nathan Gorman, in their battle of unbeaten heavyweight prospects last July. What's going on here? Another such showdown awaits in the wings later this year. Dubois is tentatively set for a thrice scheduled clash with 2016 Olympic silver medalist Joe Joyce, 11-0, 10 KOs, with their bout due to take place on October the 17th in London. Joyce did his part. Yeah, we know that. Schneider's doesn't figure into disrupt. Schneider's doesn't figure. Snyder's doesn't figure to disrupt those plans, but was at least willing to answer the call. The 26-year-old career-long cruiserweight who moved up in weight last September was due to appear on the undercard of this show and was the designated standby opponent in the event that his service may be needed, which turned out to be the case. Okay, so that's Dubois versus Schneider. Dubois versus Schneider. Dubois is going up against a career-long cruiserweight. So I don't know. I really don't know how Schneider's is going to upset the apple cart. Long story short, I don't think that Schneider's will. I don't think he's going to be upsetting anything. So that's what time is that going to be on UK TV? Hold on a second. Let me just I'm in my TV now. Let me scroll down and see. Let me go into the sports menu. What's this? Sports schedule. Hold on. This is loading up. Where does it say? Where's BT later on? Let me scroll down. Let me find out the time of this shiznix. I would imagine it starts around 8 p.m. over here in the UK time. What time would that be? There's 2 over there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. So it's going to start, they're saying it's 2 a.m. East Coast, so that would be 7 p.m. UK time. 7 p.m. UK time. That's when the kickoff would be. I would imagine it start getting warm around 8. I would imagine Dubois would make his ring walk around 9 or 10. So really, I think the safe time to get in on that would be like about 8 p.m. It'll be around 8 p.m. I'm trying to flick through the TV right now. Let me go back. Okay, I'll have a look at that in a second. But firstly, let me get into the chat. Let me see what people are saying before we move on to the next fight that we'll be covering. I forgot stew simmering in the stove. No, but don't be surprised if a raggle-taggle. Don't be surprised if a raggle-taggle group makes an appearance. Do not be surprised. Don't be surprised. Okay. So let me get through this chat before we look at the next fight. Oh, what's my prediction on that? My prediction on that fight is a yeah, it's not really hard. It's going to be a KO. It's going to be a KO. Career high. What is it? In 2 or 3 rounds. Let me say round. In between round 2 and round 3. Dubois KOs Schneider in between round 2 or round 3. Okay, so that's my prediction. That is my prediction on a momento. Let me paste this link in the chat again, just in case the Raggle Taggle crew are circling on the borderlines. Okay, that's for them. Well, that's for anybody actually. But anyway, okay. So, What's this? EJ seemed to have mixed up the number one contender slot with the mandatory. Yes. That's what I think. Flex Jim could do with a bit of coat, paint a coat. Yes, indeed. I'll get right on it. Got to get a roller. When I find me roller, I'll get right on it. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Stirrer up in the building. Okay. Where are we? Who wants dumplings? Who wants dumplings with their beef stew? Their beef stew. No, you was right first time, James. You was right first time. It's not they are. It is there. You was right first time, Mocha. First time. Yes. Jeffrey DeRuzon up in the building. OMG. Wildette celebrating Wildette White's defeat like it vindicates Wilder's atrocious resume. My, oh my. Me, oh my. It's a shame. It's a crying shame. It's a crying shame. What in the actual happened? Told you earlier. Wildette's storming the Dorskin's castle, twerking all over the draw. Hey, if you Wildettes have the audacity to show up, if I see one of you trying to twerk over the drawbridge, if I see one of you trying to twerk on my property, yo, there's going to be hell to pay. There will be hell to pay. We don't want no Wildettes. We don't want no Wildettes trying to do the twerk. Trying to do the twerk on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio property. Nowhere in the compound or surrounding areas. If I see one Wildette trying to twerk around the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio compound, there will be hell to pay. Yeah, don't try none of that twerking business around here. Wilder ran away. EJ ran away harder than the Red Rum. Well, he came back though. I'll give him credit. He came back, then went away, came back, then went away. So he did come back. And then he went away again. So I'll give him credit for coming back. I think he came back and went away around 3 times. So I will give him credit for that. Facts don't care about feelings. Yeah. So the Raggle Taggle crew, yo, get out of your feelings. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat. We're talking about last night's show where the followers of a fella kind of got all butt hurt, kind of got up in their feelings, wake up this morning. They're trying to round up a posse for the Raffy. But I hope they got a thick rope. I hope they got a thick rope for the thick Raffy neck. You need a long rope for the Raffy neck. Yeah? Might have to go and bind the 2 ropes together just to get it around the Raffy neck. So make sure you come prepared or you will meet your Waterloo. You will meet your Waterloo. Yeah? So don't make that silly mistake. Don't make the silly mistake many have made before you. Yeah? Don't do that. Don't do that. Many have plotted and ended up in a bad way. In a bad way. Trying to round up a posse for the Raffy. Backstage, trying to round up a posse for the Raffy in group conversations, group telephone calls, huddled up together like a bunch of chickens, doing the funky chicken. But don't try no twerking, or I don't want no wet Wildettes trying to come over here in the Raphael Dawkins in the Combat Radio trying to twerk on the Raphael Dawkins property. I don't want no wet Wildettes trying to come and twerk on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio property. Try that on the compound. It'll be the last thing you do. Didn't Povetkin make Dillian White twerk on the drop? No, man, he just went down like a stone. Dillian White went down respectfully. He didn't stagger all over the ring like Wilder. In the disgraceful display. White just went out gracefully. Just went to sleep. Yeah, they're rounding up a posse for the Raffy. But make sure you come with a thick rope. And make sure you've made provisions to get over the drawbridge. OMG. He got hit by a hell of a shot. He got hit by a hell of a shot, and that's where people talk about. Well, where did you get the idea at? It was because in my lunchtime I scrolled through my history. You know, I looked on YouTube and I was looking for something to look at. I had about half an hour to kill while I was eating my food at lunchtime, and I went in my history, and that fight popped up: Povetkin versus Joshua, and I watched the fight again. And I realized that, I confirmed it. Povetkin was just as dangerous then. It's just that Joshua had studied Povetkin very, very well and knew what to stay away from. I think if you watch that video, I think I even say that Povetkin tried that same very similar combo, left hook, and tried to follow it with the left uppercut. It's a double hook, left hook, conventional hook. And then he goes uppercut. And he tried that same thing with Joshua. But Joshua was not leaning in, unlike Dillian White. But he tried that same thing. I would just love to see Povetkin versus Luis Ortiz. I would love to see that. Once Dillian White takes care of Povetkin next time around, if he's learned his lesson, then I would love to see. I would pay good money to see Luis Ortiz versus Povetkin, the Povetkin guy. I would love to see that. It would put a lot of arguments to rest. It would show how good Povetkin is, because I think he's highly underrated. I don't know. A lot of people underrate the people like Ruiz and Povetkin. I don't know. I find those guys very, very dangerous. I consider those guys with fast hands, low center of gravity to be very, very dangerous. And I would love to see that. And it's a shame that Ruiz isn't fighting somebody like Ortiz. I think that Ruiz would take him out of there like in three or four rounds, really and truly. It'd finish Ortiz within 5 rounds. Within 5 rounds, Ruiz would finish Ortiz. I think he'd finish him under 5 rounds. So yeah, I'd love to see those matchups. And I think that, that's where the idea came from. I thought, I've always rated Povetkin, but I think a lot of people have underrated him. I think particularly a lot of Americans. I've said it many times before when I was over there at TBV. I raised the point. I said Povetkin is better than your boy Ortiz, and they laughed. I should find that soundbite. They laughed hysterically. I don't know why so many Americans underrate Povetkin, but juice or no juice, that is one dangerous son of a gun. I'll tell you another good fight I'd like to see. Povetkin versus Andy Ruiz. That would be an incredible fight. It's incredible to think that the man's like 40, going 41, something like that. And there's so many great matchups for him. Could Dillian White have won that fight? Yeah, Dillian White was winning that fight nice and comfortably, reasonably comfortably. But tactical error made Dillian White duck, think it was okay to stay in the pocket. With Povetkin. You get in the pocket with Povetkin and basically you're making him laugh. That's where he wants you. He wants you right there in the pocket so he can use his attributes. He can use his low center of gravity. He can use his hooks, which come from all angles. I mean, the uppercut, you could say it was an upper hook. He can use his hooks from all angles and cause you severe problems with your equilibrium. You stick around. Look how Vladimir Klitschko fought. Povetkin. Dinosaurus Ortiz. Look how Vladimir Klitschko fought Povetkin. He was like a cat on a hot tin roof. He didn't want to stay. He was well schooled. Klitschko was well schooled. Vladimir was well schooled because he knew what not to do. And what not to do was go on the inside and mess around with him on the inside. So Klitschko was like a cat on a hot tin roof. Vladimir we're talking about. Staying away from him, gripping him round the head every second, punching him, then grip, punching, grip. That was the plan. And that's what he did. Punched and gripped him. Didn't want him to be loose. He didn't want him to be loose. at any second. You just want to keep the pressure on him. Punch and grip, punch and grip, punch and grip. Grab him behind the head. So, yeah, Klitschko respected him. Ortiz is more like 50 rather than 40. Povetkin, yeah, 40, 41. Legitimate 40, 41. Birth certificate and everything. Ortiz, more like 50. Been saying it now for over a year. Just now, people are beginning to realize and accept it. Okay. Let us move on. Link is in the chat. Anybody wants to jump in, chop it up, jump in. Where are we going next? Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. Where are we going next? What fight we're looking at? What fight we're looking at? Let me go through my list here. Okay, so as we know, let me actually, I know what I need to do. Let me open up. Let me go to my Twitter. Did I like that post? Hopefully, I like the post. That means I'll be able to find it real quick. Real quick, like. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is it. Rick Glazer rides in and comes with a nice, concise post. So I'll work off that. Let me share that. Let me stop sharing that and let me start sharing this. Boom, boom, boom. Damn, Rick's helping me even when he's not here. How you like that? How you like them apples? Let's move this thing up closer and let's make it larger so you can see. Gonna go even larger still? Yeah, why not? How does it look now? Okay, it looks a bit better. Okay, so what do? Move this along? Okay, let's drop this down. Link is in the chat. Anybody want to chop it up, jump in. Okay, so what are we doing? We're gonna move this up a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Okay, that's good. Okay, so big boxing Saturday. Daniel Dubois. We've already talked about Daniel Dubois. My pick for Daniel Dubois, which I should write down, is going to be bet on anything from between rounds 2 and 3. I say between rounds 2 and 3. But he is the X factor. If his next fight is going to be with Joe Joyce, did he not himself say that he could have done, Joe Joyce could have done with a longer fight to prepare for Daniel himself? So is Daniel Dubois going to be in any rush to finish Schneider's? Is he going to be going in there looking to take out Schneider's fast, quickly? I don't know. That's an X factor. That's an X factor. He might not want to take him out quickly. He might want to take him out nice and slow. He might want to do the nice and slow. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to push it back a bit. I'm going to push my prediction back a bit. I'm picking Dubois. I'm picking Dubois by, what are we saying? Round 4. Okay, I'm going to round 4 to 5. Round 4 or 5. Remember, Schneider's is a blown up cruiserweight, but then you could say that about Usyk as well. But Schneider's ain't got Usyk's background. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's my pick for. Might as well write this in. Why don't I write this in? Matter of fact, why don't I just turn on my damn phone too and write it in from there? I'll do that. Okay, volume is down. Let's put the prediction in. Is that yeah? I say between 4 and 5. I've changed. I'm going Dubois. Dubois, Dubois, KO, between round R4 and R5. R4 and R5. Boom. Okay, so that's my official prediction, and it is now memorialized in the chat. So there can't be any ambiguity about that. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. What we saying there? What we saying there? Go to the next thing. So next fight, that's in London, East London. And MGM bubble. We got Ramirez versus Postal. That's 8 p.m. That's 8 p.m. over their time. So what's that over? Well, that's the beginning of the card. That's not the fight itself. What the fight's going to be? What, 8, 9, 10? At least 2 hours later. So that would mean that would be 10 p.m. So that's what, 3 p.m. over here in the UK. 3 a.m. over here in the UK. Is the Rafi going to be sleeping or still awake? Of course, we're going to be covering the Dubois versus Schneider's fight. We're going to do the live. We're going to be doing a live for that card. Well, more to the latter end of the card rather than the beginning of the card. Nobody can sit through the whole card. Nobody wants to do that. So we're going to be covering. Let me just write this in the chat as well. Covering the Dubois latter of the Dubois. The Dubois card. Boom. Okay. Too late. Yeah. Too late. It's way too late. You know what I'm saying? Way too late. And I will be covering the latter part of the Dubois card. Okay, so the second half. The first half, not so much. Second half of the card, yes. I'm going to find out what time that card starts over here in the UK, and we'll be covering that. But I think right about now, we're looking for Postal. We're looking for the Postal versus Ramirez fight. So let me move this along. And let me stop sharing that and start sharing this. Where is it? Yeah, boom. Oh, Freddie Roach has got something interesting to say. Okay, how's that look on your end? Okay, let's switch it up. Nobody wants to sit through a full Frank Warren card. Wise words. Yeah, just being honest, mate. I can't take it. Some people do it. I don't know why they're prepared to sit through that whole shiznix. Good luck to them. That's not me. I just want to get through the pertinent fights. I want to watch the pertinent fights. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, anyway, we're on to Freddie Roach. Or onto the Ramirez versus Postal fight. Okay, let's have a look at that. Let's see what Freddie Roach has to say. Okay, so Freddie Roach recognizing improvement in Jose Ramirez since Ramirez began working with trainer Robert Garcia 2 years ago. Ramirez replaced Roach with Garcia less than 2 months after he won the WBC lightweight title in March 2018. The 28-year-old Ramirez has gone 3-0 since parting ways with Roach, including a 6-round KO of Morris Hooker in their title unification fight last July. Okay, so Ramirez, 25-0, 17 KOs, will encounter an opponent Roach trains this Saturday night when he'll make his mandatory defense of his WBC 140-pound crown versus Victor Postal at the MGM Grand Conference Center in Las Vegas. Roach said he's developed into a good body puncher, Roach told Rafael Dawkins Combat Radio earlier today. And he tries to break people down, knock them out towards the end of fights with big hooks and so forth. For us to win the fight, I think he's talking about Ramirez. And then Roach goes on to say, for us to win the fight, we have to outbox him and be smarter. That's all. Outbox him, be smarter. Wild Card Boxing Club, Las Vegas. Okay, so the Ukraine's Postal is 36 years of age. That's in comparison to with Ramirez's age. I think Ramirez is 27. Okay, so yeah, Pistol is 30. Postal is 36 years old, but Roach is confident that the rangy, experienced ex-champion can outpoint the favorite, Ramirez, in their 12-round bout. Okay, you've got a boxer and a puncher, Roach said. We're the boxer, and that's how we're going to win the fight. We're going to outbox him. Postal, 31, 2, and 12 KOs. A former WBC lightweight champion, has lost only 12-round unanimous decisions to Terence Crawford and Josh Taylor. Crawford, 36-0, 27 KOs, and Taylor, 16-0, 12 KOs. Arguably are the best boxers in their respective divisions, welterweight and junior welterweight. Postal pulled off an upset last time he challenged for the WBC super light title. His 10th round KO of Lucas Mateus occurred nearly 5 years ago, though, and that Postal hasn't fought in 16 months since he defeated France's Mohamed Mimoun by unanimous decision in a 10-rounder in Las Vegas. Ramirez of Avenel, California, California, hasn't boxed in 13 months since he stopped the previously unbeaten Maurice Hooker, 27-1-3, 18 KOs. The 2012 U.S. Olympian will defend his WBO junior welterweight title he took from Hooker when he opposes Postal in the main event of an 8-fight card on ESPN Plus, which will start streaming at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, or 7:30 p.m., 4:30 p.m. What's that? Pacific Time. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. What time is that? That's like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's like 12:30. 12:30 over here. Probably 2:30 before they get to the juicy fights. Yeah, it's too late. Too late. Ramirez Postal for the UK. Ramirez Postal has been postponed twice due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They were due to fight in February the 1st at Mission Hills Resort. Where's that? Haikou, China. Damn. It was rescheduled for May the 9th at Save Mart Center, Fresno, California, where it's been pushed back 3.5 months more. Okay, how much longer does this thing go on? If Ramirez tops or stops Postal, his promoter, Bob Arum, intends to match him against Scotland's Taylor in a 140-pound championship unification fight. Taylor also must defeat Thailand's Kong Song, the mandatory challenger for his IBF title on September the 16th in London. So that's like a month from now, 4 weeks from now, something like that. Yeah, to keep that fight viable. Roach believes. The hell is this? Roach believes Postal was more competitive against Taylor in June 2018 than the judges indicated. Taylor dropped Postal in the 10th round, but Postal previously hurt the younger southpaw twice during the second half of the 7th round. He fought a very good fight, Roach said of Postal. The thing is, I really rate Taylor because Taylor beat a couple of my other fighters. Taylor is a very good fighter, and I thought Postal put on a great performance. That's the kind of performance I would like to see in this fight also. Okay. Is Roach betting his house on this one? I think not. If Postal gives Ramirez even minor problems, I can't see him beating JT or Josh Taylor or Regis Prograis. Okay. He could. I thought Kanzapida beat Ramirez. So Ramirez is very beatable, but he is tough. Like Zapida, Postal won't get a decision. If Postal gives Ramirez even minor problems, I can't see him beating JT, that's Josh Taylor, or Regis Prograis. Nothing against Postal, but I hope Ramirez wipes the ring with him. Because of Roach. OMG. So that's Postal. And I have to give my findings now. I have to give you my findings. How do I feel about this? I think that Ramirez is going to stop Postal. Postal is one hell of a tough cat. One hell of a tough cat, but I think Ramirez has got a point to prove. Why is this thing so big? He's got a point to prove, and I think he's going to be going in for the stoppage. What's going on here? He's going to be going in for the stoppage, and I think that it's going to be. I'm going for the late stoppage. I'm going for the late stoppage against all odds. Most people think it's going to be a 12-rounder. I'm going for the late stoppage. I think the conventional wisdom will probably go with the 12 rounder, but I'm going for a late stoppage. I'm going for a stoppage in the last quarter, in the third quarter of the fight. The third quarter. Yeah, that is going to be my pick. So Ramirez stops. I better write this in. Ramirez, JR, Jose Ramirez stops. Stops Postal late. What are you going to say? Something like a 10 round in the 10th round? Yeah, let's say something like 10, 11, 12, 9, round 9 or round 10 late. R9 or R10. Boom. Okay. So that is my prediction. I've made it official. It's in there. And yeah. So I'm looking for Ramirez. We got Charles Miller up in the building. Yeah. Who you got? Ramirez or Postal? Who you got on that one? Charles Miller. I've got Ramirez stopping Postal late, round 9 or round 10. I know conventional wisdom says it's going to go the whole way, but I'm sticking my neck out on that one. I'm saying Ramirez is going to want to make an example of Roach's boy. Of course, Ramirez used to train under Roach. So he's going to want to impress. He's going to want to impress his old trainer and bring that heat. Bring that heat to land on the fella there, Postal. Okay, so who you got in that fight? There's people in the chat, silent people. Who are these silent people in the chat? Who ain't saying nothing? Let me just take a quick look at my analytics, see what's going on in the analytics. There are a lot of people in the chat who ain't saying nothing. That's strange. Who are they? Who are these people? Why don't you talk? Why don't you talk to me? OMG. What's going on here? Just looking at the analytics, just going in the back room, having a quick look at the analytics, seeing what's going on. Why are the silent partners? Who are the silent people? Who are the silent people out there? As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, let me try and lure them out. Let's copy that. Put the link in the chat. Let me see if I can lure them in. I think the posse is circling. They're looking for the most opportune time to strike. But yeah, there's only a few people chatting, but there's a bunch of people. Circling the compound. I think so. Circling the compound in silence. They think I don't see them. They don't realize we got to watch. We don't realize we got a couple of watchmen in the mountains, in the hills, doing press-ups as we speak. OMG. I think it's the posse. The posse is lurking. Well, let me get on to the next strand. What is this here? Where is that? Damn it. Let me drop this down a little bit smaller so I can see what's going on. so I can see what's going on here. Okay, let me just come out of this all together. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see what's going on. What's going on? Okay, un momento. Postal Ramirez. Yeah, okay. So I think that's Lara. Almost forgot about Lara. Lara's fighting. Who's Lara fighting? Lara is fighting Vendetti. Okay, so Lara is fighting Vendetti. So that's the last big fight of the weekend. And let me stop sharing that and start sharing this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yeah, posse circling. Okay, so what we got? We got Ramirez. So Charles Miller is going for Ramirez. Damn, James Jameson is going for Postal. OMG. I see what it is there. I think James Jameson is showing a bit of Scottish love. He's showing a bit of Scottish love to his guy, Taylor. So he reckons if Postal beats Taylor, if Postal beats Ramirez, then that gets a dangerous guy out of the way for Josh Taylor. I like the way you're thinking there. James. I could be wrong, but I think that's the plan. Okay, I like it. I like the strategic positioning right there. Okay. So I think the posse circling has just got a little bit bigger. I think they're coordinating, trying to coordinate their strike, trying to come back. Vendetta, V for Vendetta. Okay, I think the link is in the chat. They can see it. They're tempted. It's like a dog looking at a steak through a butcher's window. They got to be tempted. They're planning. How can I get in there and get out with the steak? They're in the planning stages. Don't let your guard down. I think I called it right. I think I decoded James's strategy there. Circle the wagons. We have enemies circling on the borderline. I got some butthurt people circling the borderline. I'm surprised they can even sit down in the saddle. OMG. Okay. So while the posse are planning and whispering amongst each others, probably on a group call as we speak. Yeah, we'll crack on with the show. And let them circle. We'll just pretend we don't know they're there. You know what I'm saying? Wonder which one's going to try and go for the steak. Let's see. Okay, in the meantime, the show goes on while they circle around, whittering to each other. Okay, so Lara, my team reached out to Hurd for a rematch. He said no. Okay, and there's Lara, and there's Hurd. Okay, so the 37-year-old Cuban returns to the ring this weekend, facing Greg Vendetti. I should really have a picture of him and Vendetti. Okay, you know what? At the end of the show, I'm gonna pull up the face-offs, the weighing face-offs of all of these guys, because by rights I should have them facing each other. Should have a pictorial piece of them facing each other. I'll do that at the end of these roundups. That is. Okay, so the 37-year-old Cuban southpaw returns to the ring this weekend facing Greg Vendetti, who's 22-3-1, 10 KOs. And that's going to top the PBC on Fox telecast live from the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. That's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's 2 a.m. UK time. That would start, I guess it gets hot about 4 a.m. It's too late for us. They need to start putting these shows on around lunchtime for them so we can catch it in the evening, nice and comfortable. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, don't hold your breath for that. For Lara, it's the first defense of the secondary version of the WBA 154-pound title he claimed in a second-round KO of Ramon Alvarez exactly 52 weeks ago, also on Fox. That one was from live from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, so there you have Lara staring to the eyes of the bigger Herd. And Herd, of course, he's got the angel wings which reach all the way up to behind his ears. That's some big angel wings. He's got the PBC cap on. Okay. Hope Al Heyman gave him that PBC cap for free. Okay. So, yeah. The win was the first. Where's this covering up everything? Okay. The win was the first for Lara since a 12-round nod over Terrell Gusha in October 2017, marking the fifth and final title defense of his WBA middleweight title reign, which ended in a heartbreaking split decision loss to Herd in their fight of the year level war on April 2018. The fight left Herd with the WBA, IBF, and IBO titles, and Lara eager for a rematch. More than 2 years later, that feeling has not changed one bit. He claims he has the stance taken. More than 2 years later, that feeling has not changed one bit, nor he claims has the stance taken from the other side. My team have reached out to Herd for a rematch, and he said no, Lara claimed during a recent media conference call to discuss his bout with Vendetti. An inquiry placed to Herd through his team by Rafael Dawkins Combat Radio seeking a comment went unreturned as this piece goes to publish. The former unified titleist who suffered his career lone loss to Julian J. Rock Williams last May did claim shortly after the fight with Lara that he wasn't particularly interested in a part 2 or even sticking around at the junior middleweight division. For now, the latter part has at least changed. Herd remains put at the weight and still awaiting his next ring assignment. Damn, I think that's a bad idea. Herd seems to struggle at that weight. Why does he move up? Seems too big for the weight. Maybe that was a part of his losing to J. Rock Williams, or maybe J. Rock Williams is just too much for him. J. Rock Williams, did J. Rock Williams not go on to lose to Jason Rosario from the Dominican Republic? Is that not correct? And now Jason Rosario is going to be facing off against, who's that, the Big Charlo? Isn't that the Big Charlo or the Little Charlo? Which one's which? Could be the Little Charlo. Yeah, junior middle. Okay, that would be the Little Charlo. Who's that, Jamel? I get the names mixed up. Is he facing Jamel? And Jamal is facing Derevenchenko. I get the names mixed up all the time, but I think I might have got it right that time. I may have got it right that time. Let me just check back in the chat, see what's going on. What time is the Dubois fight? The Dubois fight, I reckon, is going to be about 10 p.m. UK time. That's the ring walk time, or it could be 9 p.m. Let's say it's 9 p.m. That's the earlier option. If it's 9 p.m. UK time, then it's going to be 2. It's 9. Oh, you're behind us. So what's that going to be? That's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So that would be 4 p.m. Eastern time. So 9 p.m. UK time is 4 p.m. Eastern time. I think that's right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So that's 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's when you should be looking out for the Dubois fight. It could be an hour later. It could be 5 p.m. Eastern time. But over here, I think it's between 9 and 10 p.m., which means it's going to be between 5 and 5. Did I say 5 before? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, 4. It's going to be between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern time. You know, I'm still here, Rafi. Lol, making phone calls, etc., dealing with the hurricane and my SUV, etc. Yes. Got to be pretty tough over there. Shout out to our American cousins over there who are going through that hurricane shizzle. My thoughts go out to them. You guys, you know, thoughts go out to you guys. Yeah. Hope everything works out well. You know, can't be easy. Cannot be easy. Okay. We have YG Knight. YG Knight has actually shown up. Kill your noise. Kill your background noise, please, YG. YG Knight has finally shown up. He's got the big wooden spoon. He's got the stirrer, but he's finally shown up at last. So at least we can rate that. I'll get to you in a second, YG. We're just finishing up with the last of the predictions. So stick around. Okay, YG has shown up, so we have to give him some credit for that. He's always got the wooden spoon out, stirring stuff up behind the stage. But now, finally, he appears. He appears front of stage. So credit to him for that. YG, I'll get to you in a second. I just got to finish up this chisel. Give me 2 minutes. Stick around. OMG. The posse has arrived. The posse has arrived. You received the warning. The posse is in the building trying to come. They got the rope, trying to hang the Rafi, but it's okay. It's all good. I look forward to it. So we got YG, we got Phil Walker, and no doubt there are a few more to come. So it's gonna be going down in 2 minutes' time as soon as I finish up this Lara thing. Okay. The whole battalion are in the area. They have coordinated backstage. Awesome. But you see how I have to give them credit because they respectfully kind of stood back. They let me get to the end of the show, and then they came in. So you got to give them credit for being kind of having some form of semblance of respect. Okay, we're gonna get to those guys in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this section up, and then we're gonna get to that boxing. I don't know if they come to talk boxing, but we're about to find out. The posse has arrived. There's 1, 2, 3, and expect more. Okay, so we're gonna get to those guys in 2 minutes. Let's just finish this up before we can get to that. Okay, this gonna be good. Let's see if their rope is strong enough. Okay, so what's this? James Jameson says EJ must have been walking like John Wayne today. I told him he's gonna be walking like that for a week. 2 minutes, 2 minutes. You can wait 2 minutes. You waited for the whole show. You can wait 2 minutes. I'm just finishing off my show, the proper. Then we're gonna get into this intense potential internet beef. I'm gonna hear what each one of you guys has to say. Okay, so stay safe, Jeffrey. Stay safe. James Jameson. Didn't some American boxing used to be Saturday afternoon? I think so. East Coast, West Coast, East Coast. Yeah, East Coast. I don't know, but if it's on the West Coast, then it'll be later, or is it earlier? Yeah. East Coast better. East Coast better for us. Okay. Hey, champ, checking in. Yeah, BWTM Sports and Gaming up in the building. We're going to go to EJ's posse in a second. Yeah, the posse is here trying to come for the Rafi. Let's see how this goes down. This going to be good. Boxing. I don't know. Okay. Okay, let me just finish that off now. Let's just leave that there. Lara versus, who's he fighting? Greg Vendetti. Lara versus Greg Vendetti. I don't know much about Vendetti, so it's just a shock in the dark. It's just a shot in the dark. There we see the Lara, the shorter guy there versus Vendetti. Well, he's gonna win, isn't he? By what method? Let's go late stoppage. Hold on, this Vendetti guy is durable. 22 wins, 3 losses, 1 KO loss, it looks like. Yeah, let's go for a late KO, 10th round. That's for Lara. All right, I'm saying that quickly so we can finish off with that. I can stop sharing that. We can go over to the posse who have assembled So let me stop sharing that and let's get into this. Okay, who's dropped off? OMG. OMG. YG drops off. No, hold on a second. Let's wait for YG. Okay, but first of all, we got, the second person who came in was Phil Walker. So let's go with Phil Walker. Phil Walker, what up?
Yo, what's up, brother?
Yeah. Oh, hold on, Phil. Oh, no, I'm going to talk to Phil first. YG's just come in. Okay, YG's just come in. There he is, but I'll talk to you first, Phil. So what's crack-a-lacking, Phil? The posse's in the house. Tell me about it.
Hey, look, man, hey, I don't represent no posse, but you know what I'm saying? Me, myself, and I. So
Yeah.
let me square that off. And every time I come to the channel, it's always respect.
It's always respect. It's always respect. But I'm wondering because I woke up this morning, I found some weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth backstage. We got YG in here. YG, Mr. Stirrer. I'll get to you in a second, Mr. Stirrer. You got the wooden spoon at all times. You're stirring up shizzle, YG. But I'm going to talk to you in a second. I wake up. I had a live last night. And the title of the live was which was the better win? Was it? Hold on, kill the noise back. Somebody's got some background. Somebody's got some backstage noise.
Yeah, that's me. Give me a second.
Yeah, just please mute yourself, bro. Please, thank you. All right. So I wake up this morning. There's weeping, wailing, gnashing of teeth in some backstage chats that we both involved in, and talking about Rafi. You got roasted. The name of the show that I had last night was Who had the best win? Fury over Wilder or Joshua over Povetkin? Now, our mutual friend EJ Boxing came over here and roasted himself. If you've listened to the live, you found out that he said a number of things which were inaccurate, but it was no biggie to me. I simply corrected them and it was cool. It was entertaining. EJ came and left about 3 times, very irate, but it was high entertainment. I didn't disrespect the dude for getting multiple things wrong because, nobody's perfect. Nobody gets everything wrong 100% of the time. So it was all cool in the gang to me. It was no biggie. I wake up this morning, Raf, you got roasted. What? I said, so anybody who said that clearly hasn't listened to the damn thing. But I'm going to get to you in 15 seconds, Phil. Don't worry. But I did, because what happens over here, as people over here will know, we've been battling this for a while, is that when I do a live, it takes 12 hours after it's finished before it gets fully uploaded. So the only people who can see the live are people who have the link. That's why I started you've been away for that period. But when there was the disruptions, I'm not even going to mention any names over in where. I don't even want to say Minneapolis, and I covered those stories. YouTube all of a sudden started monitoring all of my lives, and they started keeping them for 12 hours after they have finished. A couple of times recently, my lives have just gone through like they used to do, even quicker than they used to do, actually. But for the greater part of was it 2 months? The greater part of the last 2 months, my lives have taken 12 hours before YouTube released them to the general public after they're finished. If you have the link, you can watch it. If you have the link, you can jump on, but it doesn't show up on my channel until 12 hours later. That's been going on for the last 2 months since I commented on certain social events that were happening around the world, and also the social demonstrations that were going on in the UK. I did something about who's dropped off again. YG again. We'll come back. I did something about some political stuff over here, and ever since then, YouTube, they've been doing that thing with me. So that's a fact. Now, YG, who doesn't know anything about the channel, he comes out backstage and say, Raf, you're lying. You're lying. It don't take 12 hours to go live. Well, you don't know a damn thing that's going on over here. I said it backstage, and what I said was factual. It takes 12 hours for my lives to go live now. That's a fact. That is not a lie. It's a fact. The Shizzly's live now. But okay, that's just the background. That's just the background. But okay, Phil Walker, now you know the background. Come on in. I'm going to YG second and then Battle Rifle.
All right, so this is my deal right here. I briefly listened to the show a little bit last night, but I didn't get to hear the whole thing.
Okay.
I actually jumped in the show to give my opinions on the topic. That's why I jumped into the show originally. So whatever situation you got going with anybody else, that's none of my concern.
Okay, cool in the gang. Cool in the gang. We just want to find out where everybody is, but cool in the gang, so we know we all positioning now. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about that, but what I will say is I just want to give my opinion on the whole thing about what the show was about last night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, feel free. Let's go.
So for me, I think that the Fury win over Wilder is a much more impressive win. You understand what I'm saying? I will say this right here: the win against Povetkin, AJ's win against Povetkin does look a lot better now, considering that Povetkin stopped Dillian White. Now, I could honestly say that, right? Yeah. Because now that you know that Povetkin is not a pushover, okay? He's not an over-the-hill fighter. He's still a guy that can get in there and compete with some of the
highest level. At the highest level.
Yes. So I won't take that away from him, but I just the magnitude of the Fury and Wilder fight, you absolutely have to say that the win over Deontay Wilder is a better win for the simple fact that Deontay Wilder was the longest reigning champion in the division. Okay. Now, whether you think the competition that he fought against was elite, was not elite, that's up for interpretation. Okay. But he was the longest reigning champion. Okay. Tyson Fury, in the manner in which he went in and dominated Deontay Wilder. Okay. Whether it was the suit, whether it was ill preparation, whatever the situation or excuse may be on Team Wilder is irrelevant to the fact that Fury went in there and put on a impressive performance against one of the best heavyweights in the world. Most people consider Deontay Wilder to be top 3, and probably I would say consensus at the bare minimum. Some people may have different opinions, but I would say at that particular time, Deontay Wilder was a top 3 heavyweight, and it was
it was perceived to be a top 3 heavyweight. That's fair.
He was perceived to be a top 3 heavyweight. So the fight, for one, was a bigger fight just within itself. Number 2, the performance itself was a killer impressive performance by Fury. And with that being said, now again, the fight with Povetkin and Dillian happened after, but now that does illuminate AJ's win a little bit more. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't take away from that, because all factors need to be played into the scenario. Okay. So for me, I do think that, again, this is my last time saying, I think the Fury win is better, but I think that the Povetkin win does look a lot better considering what he just accomplished against Dillian White.
Yes. Say that last sentence again, please.
I do think the Povetkin win is illuminated a lot more and looks a hell of a lot better considering what he just accomplished against Dillian White. You cannot deny that. I mean, that is a fact. Povetkin stopped Dillian White cold in his tracks. I mean,
dead. Knocked him dead for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, he did. I mean, and to be just quite frank, he had AJ stunned during a particular part in that fight, but AJ did what Dillian White couldn't do, and that was finish Povetkin and get the win by TKO in impressive fashion. So it was what it was. Dillian had a chance to finish him, but he didn't. AJ did. And I think it was a much better Povetkin, much faster, much leaner.
Povetkin
that fought against AJ than that fought against Dillian White. That's just my opinion, though.
Quite possible. Fight Doctor asked me, Rafi, do you normally go live on Saturday around this time? occasionally. I used to do it more. May revive this late lunch. Well, it's the evening now, early evening over here for you guys. It's what quarter past 12 for you guys. Quarter past 12.
11:45.
11:45. You're mid. What time zone are you in, Philip?
I think I'm mid.
Mid. Yeah, I think you guys are mid. So 11:45.
There's no mid. You in Central Time. Talking about mid. What are you talking
I mean,
about?
Central Time. Yeah, Central
Eastern Central. It's just an hour past me where he at.
Okay, so hold on. I'm coming to you next, YG. Okay, so Phil, you're 11 p.m. Your Central Time. It's 12 p.m. I think Eastern Time, and it's probably 10 a.m. It's probably 10 a.m. Western Time. So I'm gonna ask. I got a question for you, Phil, before I move on to YG. Damn, what the hell was the question I was about to ask you? It was on the tip of my tongue. Give me a second. It was on the tip of my tongue, and I started talking about timing. Okay. So I'm trying to remember it, but I can't. It'll come to me later. Stick around. Okay, YG, you had a lot to say backstage. You was telling me that I was lying when I said that YouTube withhold my live videos for 12 hours. That was not a lie. That is factual. Just want to clear that up live. And also, I've said it on other lives. If you want me to dig out, I know specifically a live I did about a month ago where I said it live, and we actually had a live discussion about it. So if you want me to post up that link, I can do. As a matter of fact, I will do anyway. Hold on, let me write that down.
I don't know. That sounds like a problem for people that's not subscribed. I'm subscribed, so every time you post a video, it comes straight to my phone.
No. Everybody you subscribe gets. Most people who are subscribed, they get the notification. But anyone who's not subscribed, it's invisible to them. It's invisible.
That's the issue. They need to subscribe, man. Everybody should subscribe to the Combat Radio. But first, I would like to bring up too that how, like, because earlier you mentioned that I don't come on the show, but the last time it's only fitted that I come on today's show, because the last time I was on the show, we was talking about how Dillian White didn't accept Dubois' offer, because I guess you forgot that I do root for Dubois, and I had picked Dubois in that fight over Dillian White, and that's what we was talking about on the show last time I was here. So it's only fitting that I come on the show today when Dubois is fighting. And we was also talking about Dubois fighting Joyce, and I had Dubois in that fight over Joyce, which everybody that ever hears me talk know that I picked Dubois in that fight. So it's only fitting that I'm on the show today for that. As far as the backstage, what you call it, like I said, I didn't call you a liar. I said now this. Because to my knowledge, like, everybody that listens to the show should be subscribed, so they should be getting a notification. I don't know too many people that listen to the show that doesn't get the notification. So, like, that's why I had the video off back, because I get the notification, it comes straight to my phone. When you post a video and you go live, I don't have to wait 12 hours for the video to be in my it's already there. So that's why I don't know about 12 hours for your uploading. Every time you go live, I get the video ASAP.
Yeah. So you asked me the question, why is it private? Well, what I'm telling you is that it wasn't private. What I'm telling you is that YouTube don't make my stuff visible once it's finished for 12 hours to non-subscribers. If you subscribe, then you get the link and you can watch it. Anybody else, any normal person can't just be scrolling around and accidentally come across my video, because YouTube effectively have the shizzle hidden.
No, Ralph, I didn't say that, because I could see the video. That wasn't me that said that was them that said take it off private. I could still see the video. I don't have that issue. That's why I was saying that wasn't me that said I'm the one that said, yo, I could see it. And then you explained, and then that's why I said, yo, I don't know anybody that's not subscribed, because I get the videos off back. I don't have to wait 12 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought you were suggesting that I was lying. Well, that would be ridiculous. Why would I lie? I mean, I've talked about this issue for a long time. It's an issue I've got with YouTube. I'm trying to sort it out. I think I know what it could be. Well, I just explained what I think it is. They're still withholding stuff, but a couple of videos have gone live almost instantly after I finished them recently. So hopefully we're turning the corner. The last one took 12 hours. So see, maybe we're turning the corners. Maybe we're turning the corner. Maybe the next one, maybe this one. Hopefully this one just goes live straight away. Maybe we're turning a corner because a couple of them went live almost instantly recently. The last one took 12 hours again. So maybe we're going through a back and forth phase. Hopefully it gets resolved and my shizzle can be visible to everybody in the normal time that everybody else's videos get visible. But to reiterate, people who are subscribed see the shizzle, but people who are not subscribed, they're kept in the dark. They can't randomly bump into my shit because it's kind of semi-hidden. That's why I am on various social media platforms and I post my shizzle there. So and also that's why I started the replay series, which is basically me doing a copy of the live, pushing the live out there, hitting it out there, the copy, putting the copy out there, and then 12 hours later so that people don't have to wait for 12 hours. The only problem with that is that I've noticed when I do a copy, then the live chat replay doesn't show. So it's like a catch-22. I can get it out there earlier, but then the live chat doesn't show either in the replay or when later on, when eventually it goes live 12 hours later, the live chat isn't in there either. And a lot of people like to see the live chat, so it's a kind of catch-22. So I didn't do a replay for this one. I just left it till it went live after 12 hours. I just left it alone. I'll probably leave this one alone and hope for the best as well. Okay, so that's the backstory on why some people think my shizzle is hidden, because it kind of is, but not by me, by YouTube for 12 hours. So I'm glad we cleared that up. Okay, 12:45 Eastern time, says Charles Miller. Okay, so we cleared that up. Okay, and you've already mentioned your topic, Matty, that you're interested in YG, but I got to ask you, why did you say that I got roasted by EJ when in actual fact, if you actually listen to the thing, you will see that EJ made a number of statements which were erroneous. So I don't claim to have roasted EJ, so I don't understand why anybody's claiming that he roasted me. YG, talk on that point first, and then we can go on to your other points, because I think that's the reason you're here. That's the real motivation.
No, I really would have came on the show once with the Dubois thing. I would have came on the show because I really wanted to. Anyway. Okay.
So you're not here. You're not here because you're in any way butthurt about anything from last night.
But why would I be mad? Why would I be butthurt over you and EJ talking back and forth? Why would that bother me? I was just doing this the same reason why when Dillian White loses or any other part of the day you wake up and you just feel like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna take a shit on Deontay Wilder and I'm gonna just talk about him. Like that's the only reason why I just said, you know what, yeah, EJ roasted you. You do that all the time with Wilder. I'm trying to figure out, how did you draw the line from to make the video of Anthony Joshua win is bigger over Povetkin than Fury over Wilder? Was just that just another ploy to take a dump on Wilder?
You're asking me where did I get the idea?
Where's your motivation up to bring up that?
I did say that previously. I did explain my motivation, but I'm assuming you weren't here, otherwise you would have heard me. But I will repeat it. That's no problem. When was it? It was a lunchtime. Was it yesterday? It was lunchtime yesterday. I pulled my phone out. I was eating my lunch. I pulled my phone out, and I went into YouTube and I clicked on history, something I often do because oftentimes I start watching a video and I don't finish it. So I scrolled down to see which video I was going to watch that I'd started but hadn't finished. And I scrolled down and I came to Anthony Joshua versus Povetkin. Okay, so I thought, yeah, let me finish watching this fight. And at some point during that fight, Povetkin does an attack where he does a left hook and a left uppercut. And it was very similar to the combination that finished Dillian White, sparked him out. And I said, oh, damn. Well, that's noteworthy. That's interesting to talk about. That's worthy of discussion. So, boom, I wrote down I wrote down the potential title of the piece, and it went something like, which victory was more impressive, or whatever it was called, something along those lines. Fury over Wilder or Joshua over Povetkin. Now let's get further into the root of that, and I'm coming straight back to you before I go over to Battle Rifle. So you're going to have your say. And so, yeah, I wrote down that as a title piece, and yeah, it has proved very, very popular. People who have seen the title piece, they've looked at it once, looked at it twice again, and thought, you know, that's a very good comparison. That is a very good topic. As a matter of fact, EJ said that live. EJ said that live on the show. So if you actually listen to the show, you will hear EJ himself towards the latter part. I think it was 3.5 hours. Okay, let's say between the 1.5 hour mark and the 3.5 hour mark. I think it was more closer to the, yeah, let's just leave it there. It's within that period, that's for sure. So you will hear EJ himself say, that's a very good topic. So
it was within the last hour, Rafi. The last hour.
Okay, cool in the gang. Who said that?
That was Phil Walker. I was listening. It was within the last hour.
Yeah, cool. Because I went to you, and just as I went to you, you just dropped off. So yeah, I remember you was here because you've been waiting for a little bit. Okay, so EJ definitely said that, and a lot of people have said the same thing. It's an interesting topic because it forces you to reevaluate. So I think that's my question. That's my answer to you, YG. Why did I come up with that? Because I came up with it as a title, and I thought that's a very good topic. What is a very good topic? It's something that's going to stimulate discussion and debate. And just to correct you, though, I did not say Joshua's win over Povetkin was better than Fury's win over Wilder. It was a question: which win was better? And I put Wilder, and I put Fury and Wilder first. Yeah, that got prominence. So Fury and Wilder first, and then I put Joshua over Povetkin. So I posed the question, and I posed it very well with Fury and Wilder first, because that's the general consensus. People automatically assume that. But when you think about the Joshua versus Povetkin fight, in the knowledge that Povetkin can starch a man if he catches him right in one shot, then it becomes a worthy discussion. So YG, that is my answer to you, because it's a worthy discussion and it's an interesting subject matter. Back to you, YG.
Oh no, I thought the answer was you was at lunch and you flipped up on your phone. That's really seemed like the answer. But to me, I thought the video should have been who knocked out Dillian White better, Anthony Joshua or Povetkin. Like that's probably should have been the video. And ever since that knockout, well, you've been doing that before that, but you're like, it just seems like you always seem to find a way to take a crap on Wilder. Like as soon as Wilder lost in the chats back, I mean, as soon as White lost and the chats back, what you call it, you didn't even talk about that. The first thing you said was, well, Fury's gonna beat Deontay Wilder in the rematch. Where did those lines go? We're talking about the fight that just happened. You automatically started talking about a fight that's gonna happen in December or maybe next year.
What's your question?
Like, how come every time we talk about one thing, you always seem to throw Deontay Wilder in it?
Why do I throw Deontay Wilder in it? Okay, hold that thought. Battle, be patient. I'm coming to you shortly. Don't go nowhere. Okay, so hold that thought. Remember your question, because I need to acknowledge the chat just for a second. So everybody in here, hit that like. Thanks for coming. Hit that like. We ain't finished. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you want to receive notifications, because as I've already explained, we've already discussed, there's some problems with the visibility. I hope those problems are easing off. I think I know where the root of this thing stems from. And I told you already, it's the social coverage, the coverage I did about the social upheavals. And ever since, they've been kind of getting me in the kind of trying to put me in the shadow realm. Phil Walker, I see you. It says your device is not connected. Give it a few seconds. Once it says connected, then I can click the thing and then you'll be back on. But currently now, I don't know if your signal's weak, but it says device is not connected. So as soon as it says connected, I can click the link and you'll be on. Okay, so Phil Walker's dropped off again. I think he's trying again, getting a better signal. Okay, so I'm coming back to you, YG. Just give me a second. So hit that like button. Glad to everybody could make it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and very importantly, hit that share button to get increased visibility of the show, which works out. So what's in it for you if we have increased visibility? Well, increased visibility means it's bigger and better. Don't get me wrong, it's great now, but we can be greater still. And more subscribers. The continual growth of the channel can only be a good thing. Only be a good thing. It means I can spend more time doing what I like to do. Okay, so where are we? We're just going to go through a few of these comments in the chat, and then we're going to go back to YG and answer his question. It's a good question. I'm more than happy to answer it. Okay, so Father Flintoff says, Wilder's no mug. All credit to Fury. But how AJ dealt with Povetkin was impressive. Absolutely. 12:45 Eastern. How do you fellas watch the show tonight in the UFC? Who broadcasts it and is it free? I think it's over on ESPN Plus, which is an app. I think it's $5 per month. Charles Miller answered it. It's on ESPN Plus and the other one on Fox One. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm sorry, ESPN and Fox, both free TV. I think ESPN Plus is an app though, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken, ESPN Plus, and that's a $5 a month thing. Yes. Thank you, Charles. We're just going through these comments. I don't like to ignore the chat for too long. Sometimes you go on certain shows. I've been on a certain show, and sometimes you leave and you feel kind of weird, like you've been there, but you haven't really been a part of it. You feel ignored. I hope YG jumps back on. Everybody's dropped off right now. I hope everybody jumps back on. Okay, so you need to jump back on, YG. The discussion has only begun. Battle, where you gone? Where are we? After 5 years of ducking while claiming to be king or hardest puncher of all, Wilder deserves to be ash on at every opportunity. Boxing fans owe him nothing. So you think that the Povetkin win was better, says the Fight Doctor. Let me put the link back in the chat. Boom. Okay, so you think the Povetkin win was better. That's my understanding. Joshua's win over Povetkin. If I'm wrong, tell me. But if I'm right, cool in the gang. Father Flintoff, he thinks the Povetkin win was better. What do you mean? You're talking about Joshua having the... What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm assuming you're saying the Fury's knockout over... Joshua's knockout over Povetkin. I think that's what you're saying. And if you're saying something different, tell me. Rafi is obsessed with Wilder. Absolutely not. I am a student of how he managed to navigate the heavyweight division without facing the toughest opponents. I am a student of that. I do find that fascinating. I do. Wilder fans celebrated harder when others lose. Joshua then White. It doesn't justify his trash record. Indeed. Deontay Wilder is a bum, says Wizard Sleeve. Wilder is more WWE than boxing. He is an absolute disgrace and deserves to be ridiculed. Damn. ESPN Plus is an app which costs $4.99 monthly. OMG. Well, they're saying they're not a posse. But I didn't get to hear what Battle had to say, and we only got to hear a bit of what YG had to say. Phil Walker couldn't get back on, and then who dropped off? Then Battle dropped off, and then YG disappeared. So why Battle didn't speak? So Battle, you need to come back and speak. The link is in the chat. Is it in the chat? Where's the link? Yeah, it's right there. The link is in the chat. So Battle, come back and speak now. YG, come back and speak now. Come back and speak. People are saying the posse crumbled quickly. YG said he ain't in the posse. I don't know if Battle was in the posse because he didn't really speak yet. And YG has dropped off also. So I'm gonna give I'm going to give those guys certainly YG and Battle. Okay, Phil Walker has come back. Phil Walker in the building. So Phil Walker's good. But we're looking for YG now. YG, where are you? John Dealey.
You tell James,
Yeah.
Mr. James
Yeah.
Jameson that again, man, I'm not part of no posse, man. I come in and I represent myself and myself only, and it's always boxing with me. So
yeah, I think I accept. I think I'm accepting what Phil said, that he's not part of the posse. I'm accepting that. YG is a big cheerleader for EJ, and I don't have a problem with that. But it seemed like YG was I know YG was trying to whip up. As a matter of fact, rat-a-tat-tat, I'm going to go backstage and read YG's comments so you can tell me whether he's stirring up ish or not. And John D. Lee makes a presence up in here. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio on a Saturday. But hold on, John. Hold on. Phil, did you want to say something specific, or you just jump back on the show to be in the show to chop it up generally?
No. I jumped back into the show. I remember you said you had a question for me earlier.
Well, let me try and think what the question was. John, I'll come to you in a second. Thanks for being here. And YG, obviously you need to come back in here, my friend, because I'm going to read some of your comments backstage. I believe that you was ish stirring. You were saying you're not, and that's fine, but we have to investigate that though, YG. Okay, so you need to get back in here. Battle, I apologize I couldn't get to you, but obviously I had to go through people in a sequential system, and I went to do it through people in the sequence in which they came on. So I hope you don't feel no form of disrespect in that battle. The question I had for Phil Walker, you spoke of it. You spoke of the Deontay Wilder. You spoke of Joshua. Oh yeah, okay. So I hear what you had to say. I'm going to go to John Dealey after you. I hear what you had to say. Yeah, you have to give credit for Fury for beating a 5-year champ. Yes, absolutely. But my question is, dang, I didn't know such and such was in the same group, Facebook group as me. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So my question is to you, Phil. Who do you think is the better boxer betwixt Povetkin and Fury? I mean, no, Wilder and Povetkin. Who out of them two do you think is the better boxer?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, when you talk about boxing in general, just the skill level of a boxer, you have to go with Povetkin. I could even make the argument that Povetkin is, just as far as his boxing abilities, probably one of the most skilled and experienced guys in the division, considering his background.
Yeah, background pedigree.
Yeah, it's his pedigree. Just if you go back and you trace his career all the way back to the amateurs and the Olympics, then anybody that's seen that knows that Povetkin is one hell of a boxer. He's just a much older guy now, much older boxer. So I wouldn't say he's not as sharp as he used to be, but his mind, but his mind still is capable of, playing out certain scenarios. We just don't know if his body is going to allow him to be as efficient as he once was, right? So absolutely, Povetkin is, I think, probably just as far as his boxing aptitude, overall ability, able to just, read and react in the ring. Yeah, I think he's probably one of the best in the division. And when it comes to Deontay Wilder, I mean, I wouldn't describe Deontay Wilder as a boxer, I mean, he's in the sport of boxing, but is he a very good boxer? No, not at all. I mean, at the end of the day, most people that Deontay Wilder gets in the ring with is a better boxer than he is. Yeah. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're better at winning than Deontay Wilder is, right? So I think when, some people may break it down and says Deontay Wilder is a better fighter. Some people may say it that way. Well, I will say, because boxing is being able to box is part of fighting. So I'll sum it up to say I think Deontay Wilder is probably a better winner than Povetkin is at this point, considering he only has one loss.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's not even a question that anybody should even have to think about. I mean, at the end of the day.
But does Wilder have the fights? Does Wilder have the caliber of opponents of a Povetkin though?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say the caliber of opponents, because when you really break down Povetkin, he has Vladimir Klitschko, okay, was the longest reigning champion before Deontay Wilder, who also Anthony Joshua beat, which must add Anthony Joshua to the resume as well. And then you go and then you add Dillian White to the resume as well. I think those opponents, although he lost to two of those opponents, I think he has the better quality guys on his resume when you just speak about it in general. I mean, when I think about Deontay Wilder resume, I'd probably say, I'm in highly favor of Luis Ortiz. I think he's a very talented boxer. And then, of course, Tyson Fury. I've been thinking Tyson Fury has been the best in the division since he beat Vladimir Klitschko back in 2015. So, there you go. That says what I think about Tyson Fury. So, for me, when I just break down the resume of Alexander Povetkin versus Deontay Wilder, I would probably say Alexander Povetkin has the more accomplished fighters on his resume. He did lose to two of them, but at the same time, he did beat one of the guys in the division that most people, I'm not going to say most people consider to be a top 5 heavyweight.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. And with that, okay. Yeah, that's good. So Povetkin has a better resume than Deontay Wilder. That's what I think you said, and I agree. I have to concur with that. So my point when I say that is that if Fury beat a guy with a lesser resume and Anthony Joshua beat a guy with a greater resume, then that's what gives rise to the discussion. You see what I'm saying? That's what makes it worthy of discussion.
Yeah, and I agree with the premise that what brings rise to the discussion, and for me, it's not so much that the whole resume deal. To me, what brings rise to the discussion is that now you can go back and really evaluate the win that Anthony Joshua had against Povetkin, considering he flatlined Dillian White. To me, that brings more interest to the question for me personally, because it makes me go back and look at the Anthony Joshua fight, and I notice little small things that Alexander Povetkin does as a very accomplished boxer. I noticed that he was much faster. He was much lighter against Anthony Joshua. He just, to me, looked in better shape. He had more spring into his step, and that could have something to do with him being younger. That could have something to do with him being much lighter against Anthony Joshua. But at the end of the day, to me, to go back and reevaluate how he looked against Anthony Joshua, because I wasn't going to come on to the show until I went back and looked at the fight again, right?
Smart.
Because I wanted to give an honest and accurate assessment, right? So, and that's kind of why I got on the show on the back end like I did, because I went and watched the fight. So, for me, I said, well, Alexander Povetkin throws combinations and finds a way to get inside of fighters like, to me, one of the best in the division, honestly.
Yes.
Considering, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, but he does have the ring generalship to find a way to play towards his strengths, not so much his weaknesses. And the combinations that I saw him throw against Anthony Joshua that he landed were outstanding combinations. He was throwing those same combinations or similar combinations against Dillian White. The only difference is that Dillian White, he caught Dillian White in between a counter. You understand what I'm saying? Dillian White slipped. He slipped. He slipped a punch and he went right up underneath it. But he was throwing that particular combination 2 rounds before it actually landed. So you got to go back and you really got to watch the fight. Alexander Povetkin knew that was a punch that was always a great possibility that he could land it. And I really honestly believe that during training camp, that was something that he and his team practiced on, especially considering that he had a chance to talk and work with Derek Chisora. So that's what raised my eyebrows for the question. Yeah, and made it a worthy question. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad question at all. You know, I don't think it's a bad question at all. No,
not at all. And in comes the man like John D. Lee. John D. Lee, how do you do? Oh, is John ready?
No, man. Okay. I was just looking at some stuff while you were chatting.
Yeah. So you're in, John. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm a bit behind on what's been going on.
Okay, let me give you the brief recap. Okay, so last night we did a show. I should really have. Why have I got the show here twice and I don't have the other one? Okay, I'm gonna get the actual title of the show from last night, and I think this is part of the consternation. YG, where you at, bro? We didn't finish talking. We only just begun. And the name of the show, last night's show, was Better Quality Win. Really need to alter that. How many words is that? Should read. Who had the better quality win? Fury over Wilder or Joshua over Povetkin? I could have swore there was a trophy in that. I put a trophy in that title. I don't see it there, but that was the gist of the show. My good buddy, my brother, EJ came over and was talking some things, was talking to people through how the WBC works, and he made a number of crucial and vital errors, in my humble opinion. One was that you can't fight for the belt if you're a voluntary. He said that. I've listened to it. I've got a clip. I've got a 45-minute section of it, which I'm going to release because it's shorter and maybe people will be worried they're looking for the sound bites, but the sound bites are in that 45-minute clip, which I'm going to release. It is unedited. It's not spliced up. It's just a whole piece. 45 minutes. I might cut it into half to make it to about 20 minutes, more digestible for some. But in there, I think we have the section where he says you can't fight for the title if you are a voluntary. That was one mistake, in my opinion. Another mistake he made was that he said that Dillian White only became number 1 ranked after he beat Oscar Rivas. That is also in the 45-minute clip. I'll try and pare that down to 20 minutes, 25 minutes, not by splicing it in the middle. It will be one continuous piece from beginning to end, no cuts, no splicing, and boom, I'll tell you what part of the main show it was, so people can have the bite-sized chunk where I can catch the most sound bites. So I repeat, mistake number 1 that he made was he said that, in my opinion, that Dillian White became number 1 ranked in the WBC after he beat Oscar Rivas. My contention was no, he was the number 1 long before that. Some people say as long ago as when he beat Robert Helenius. That's 1. 2, you can't fight for the WBC belt if you were a mandatory, if you were voluntary. I also say that's incorrect because both of his fights with Ortiz were voluntaries for Deontay Wilder, A, and B, his first fight with Tyson Fury was also Deontay Wilder's voluntary. So there's at least a couple of points there, and there are more errors to be found in the piece. But I woke up this morning and went to work, came back in the afternoon, and found that there was weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, I'm going to go right back now, so hopefully I can give some absolute... Why is this not showing up? I can give some absolute quotes. I can't.
Well, there is one point that EJ's made that I think I know what he meant.
Right.
So the statement might be factually incorrect, but I think this is what he meant.
Right.
Dillian White didn't become the mandatory challenger until he beat Oscar Rivas, which is when he won the interim belt. So he hasn't been the mandatory challenger for 1,000 days. It's been a very short amount of time.
It's been a short amount of time. Yep.
So I think he probably did mean that when he said that. I would suspect.
No. He went over it multiple times. If you listen to the live, you'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't listened to it, so I was just listening to what you said.
We went back and forth. We went back and forth on that.
I believe you, Raf. I believe you.
I'm just saying it for clarity.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it for clarity. What I'm saying is that we went back and forth over that point for at least 45 minutes.
To clarify, I'm confident he became the #1 ranked challenger when he beat Hellenius and won the silver title.
Yes.
But he didn't become the mandatory challenger until he beat Oscar Rivas.
Correct.
Then it was suspended pretty much immediately.
Yes, because of
then Tyson Fury was made mandatory.
Yes.
So I think
second time around.
Yeah. So then I don't think Dillian White actually became mandatory challenger again until after that fight, which was it the 23rd of Feb or something?
Yes.
So from the 23rd of Feb to now, he's only been mandatory challenger for 6 months.
Correct.
And this year, Deontay Wilder had fulfilled his mandatory. So there's no mandatory due for Tyson Fury. That's as far as I understand the situation to be.
Right.
They haven't ruled on when Povetkin will be due to become the mandatory challenger for the WBC title, but he's going to do the rematch with Dillian. So,
well, I think the law as it stands right there is that it's 12 months. It would be at the soonest 12 months after Povetkin. Say there was no rematch. 12 months would be due a mandatory 12 months after the date of his victory over Dillian White. So it's pretty much they would have 12 months free. As it stands now, they've got a rematch in place, etc. So there is no mandatory right now. There is no mandatory. That mandatory position will be reviewed after Dillian White and Povetkin.
Is that definite? That's definite. Because I would expect them to do. I'd expect them to review it when they have the conference, whenever that will be. It's normally in October, and I think it's slated for the end of November, beginning of December, isn't it? The rematch.
Yeah, they'll probably do that to the WBC.
They may do it then.
They may do it there, but the words that have been uttered thus far say that the soonest any mandatory would be called would be 12 months after the date of the Povetkin victory.
I always knew that if Povetkin won, it was going to delay any mandatory obligations.
Yes, me too.
Which I mean, to be honest, isn't such a bad thing. If we could have an undisputed fight quicker, then that's a good thing. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it could be a good thing. Deontay Wilder, Dillian White wouldn't feel that way, but yes, for the general public.
Yeah. But to be fair, Dillian's lost his mandatory status.
Yeah. Yes.
So, all credit for Dillian for taking all the hard fights. The rub of that is you run the risk of losing.
You run the risk of losing, and so I'm going to go to who am I going to ask this question? I think I'm going to go back to Phil and ask Phil this question. YG, we didn't finish the conversation. We barely started it, my man. Come on now. Come back. Anyway, so I think I'll ask Phil this question first of all. Phil, what do you think the motivation was for Dillian White taking on Alexander Povetkin? And do you think it was sensible? And if you don't think it was sensible, what should he have done?
Well,
so part 1, motivation. Part 2, was it sensible? Part 3, what should he have done?
Well, I'll tell you this right here. I think part of the motivation for Dillian White taking on Alexander Povetkin is I think 2 different things. I think that one of the things is that he's been taking some pretty tough opponents on these last couple of years. I give him that. He's been taking on some pretty tough guys and Rivas and Parker and those guys like that. So it's not odd for him to take a difficult fight. That's one reason, right? Another reason, let's be honest about this, Dillian White is the only heavyweight that's having pay-per-views that's never been a champion, right? He's built up a profile, right? So when you build up a profile, you have to take pretty decent fights to keep that momentum going, right? The other thing is, I think he took the Povetkin fight because of Anthony Joshua.
Talk to me about that.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think Dillian White has essentially put himself in a position to kind of try to pre-plan his career. And Anthony Joshua, a rematch with Anthony Joshua has always been in his vision as far as his future in heavyweight boxing. Outside of course, getting a shot to earn the WBC belt, right?
Yeah.
And I think by taking on an opponent such as Povetkin, and he saw how Povetkin looked against AJ, saw that he did stun AJ at a point in time during the fight. Didn't look bad against AJ, just got stopped. I think Povetkin says, you know what, this will be a good comparison fight because I think I can go in and finish Povetkin a lot faster, in a lot better fashion. He's going to be older when I get a chance to fight him, and this will add another high quality opponent to my resume, which is going to also improve my status as far as me feeling as though I need a shot with the WBC. So I think all those reasons were motivation behind Dillian White taking a dangerous fight against a guy like Povetkin who may not be as quick and as swift as he once was, but has always been a dangerous puncher in the division. Now, the second question was what you said?
Was it a good idea? The Povetkin
question yeah, as far as your second question now, whether I think it was a good idea or not, in hindsight, of course not, right? But do I think it was a good idea for boxing? Absolutely, 110%. Dillian White did nothing wrong by taking on a big risk against a big time opponent like Alexander Povetkin. That's what you're supposed to do when you're trying to make your claim as being one of the best in the division. So yes, I think it was a good idea, and I think that if Dillian doesn't get caught, he wins the fight fairly easy. He just got caught. So at the end of the day, he had the game plan, he had the skill, he just didn't have the chin to pull it off. So you take these risks when you want to consider yourself to be one of the best. And like I said, I think Dillian White is a hell of a fighter. At the end of the day, I think he could be one of the best if Dillian White stays focused, comes into these fights in shape, and has his mental stability on cue with his boxing ability. Those two synchronized, I think he could be a very dangerous fighter for any of the heavyweights. But for me, he's just going to have to take his career a lot more serious than he has been. I think personally, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think Dillian took on the task without putting in the work. You understand what I'm saying? He knew what he had to do, but he didn't put the initiative forward to get that accomplished. And what he did was backslide by taking on a big time opponent and not preparing himself over this extended period of fights when he was blowing up in weight. He did slim down for Povetkin, but that stuff, when you do your body like that, it's accumulation. I think that led to him getting stopped.
Okay, and so the same question to John Dealey. I shall reiterate it. White. What do you think the motivation was for White to fight Povetkin, to choose such a difficult fight when he was pretty much a lock-in for to fight the champion, the WBC champion? So that's one. What was the motivation? Two, was it a good idea? And three, what if it wasn't a good idea? What should he have done? So that's motivation, good idea, bad idea, and what should he have done? John D. Lee.
Well, I don't think Dillion's the sort of person who can motivate himself for a cherry pick fight.
Mm-hmm.
So if he'd have sat on his mandatory status fighting easy fights, I think he may have gone backwards. Dillion hasn't got a tremendous amount of experience, and he is still learning and improving.
Mm.
So there's the argument that steel sharpens steel.
Yeah.
And for him to perform at his best at the championship level, fighting soft touches wouldn't actually do him any good.
Mm-hmm.
I think there has been some slippage in Povetkin.
Mm-hmm.
So from a calculated risk point of view, it was a good calculated risk because he's a credible opponent who is beatable, but would certainly look very good on the resume, and it would be difficult to say any of the non-titleists were better than Dillian Whyte if he had have beat Povetkin convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
So added on to what Phil pointed out about the fact that it was a pay-per-view and Dillian is a pay-per-view fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have paid money to watch him fight a cherry pick.
Mm-hmm.
And Dillion's made himself a rich man. Dillion's come from absolutely nothing. I don't know how much the Americans actually realise this.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a multimillionaire now.
Yeah.
So when you're used to those sort of paydays, you know, you're looking at the risk versus reward factor. There was a lot of reward in fighting Povetkin.
Yeah.
I expect the numbers did well.
Well, Povetkin got paid allegedly $4 million.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Rafi, forgetting the belt situation, I think the next fight will do well as well.
Yes, absolutely.
At the box office.
If not better.
So from a business point of view, I don't think it's been a failure.
Mm-hmm.
From getting a world title shot, yes, it has.
Yeah.
But it's really fine margins because Dillian was doing a better job than AJ up until he got knocked out.
Yeah.
As far as I was concerned, he'd won every round. I'm not sure you scored it that way.
Who won every round?
For me, Dillian did.
Against
Povetkin. Yeah.
Okay.
Right up until he got his clock cleaned.
Yeah.
I thought he'd won every round. I know you didn't necessarily score it that way, but you must have had Dillian ahead by the time we got into the fifth.
Yeah.
And that second knockdown came with about 15 seconds of the round left.
Huh.
So if it had come 30 seconds earlier, you know, it could have been a totally different story. So we are talking about some really fine margins.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, there's clearly some technical deficiencies that Dillian's got to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just that he's getting caught with uppercuts, he's getting caught square when the uppercuts are making contact.
Yeah, it's very square. I watched his footwork the other day.
Yeah.
Very square. Couldn't be more square.
Yeah. So when you're that square and you're against somebody with the accuracy of Povetkin, it's not going to end well for you. I mean, look at what he did to Cam. Povetkin has been delivering these sort of knockouts for a long time against very credible opponents.
Yes.
There's still an argument, and I think it's true, that Povetkin is the most skilled boxer that Dillian Whyte has fought against, including Anthony Joshua, because of how green he was at the time.
Yeah.
And Povetkin, there's an argument to say Povetkin's more skilled than Anthony Joshua now. Joshua has different attributes that go in his favour.
Well, there's the argument to say that he's the most skilled. He's one of the most skilled in the heavyweight division. Full stop. We're talking about Povetkin.
Yeah. The only trouble that he has is because of his dimensions, he can only really fight one way. Yeah. He's very, very, very good at it.
He's extremely good at fighting that one way, and he keeps on knocking people out.
Yeah. So all of those things are good. So I mean, I don't think it would do Dillian any good to fight soft opposition.
Okay, so I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna add to. I'm gonna give my.
I've got one last point though.
Yeah,
that I'm gonna question, and it's Dillian's punch resistance.
Okay.
So we've seen him completely separated from his senses against Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Down against Parker.
Down
against Rivas.
Yeah.
And now out cold before he hit the canvas against Povetkin.
Cold. How many people to survive that punch, John?
Well, you could argue that Anthony Joshua has, and he's not supposed to have the best
one, right? At least one did for sure.
You can definitely argue that Anthony Joshua has.
Did he not slip? Did he not slip? Did he? You see, I have an issue. People say, "Oh, well." So, for example, Wilder caught Fury with the right. Yeah, but it's not a question of just catching.
AJ didn't slip. I'm not sure if Povetkin caught him quite as cleanly.
Right. So that's my point. That's my point. There's some people say, well, Wilder caught Fury with a right. So they'll then go on to say Fury took Wilder's best shot. No, he caught him with his best hand, maybe, but was it his best shot? Because your best shot is measured by millimeters. Yeah, I
need to rewatch that fight to see that again.
Yeah, I'm saying
to make that comparison.
I'm
with
saying
regards to the shot.
I just want to make this point though, and come back to you with regards to the perfect shot. That's measured in millimeters. Your foot placement was your right foot 2 millimeters or centimeters back from optimal position? Was your left foot 2 millimeters, 2 centimeters off optimal positioning? Was the shot itself 2 millimeters or 2 centimeters off optimal positioning? So the best shot isn't just catching somebody with your best hand. Your best shot is when you've absolutely nailed everything from the foot positioning to the body torso positioning to the actual torque you were able to generate. So your best shot, there's a lot of variables to the best shot. So that's what I just wanted to put that in there. But carry on, John Dealey.
Well, I'm happy with that, and I doubt Povetkin's ever executed that particular shot any better.
Right.
So there's a high chance that when other people have survived it, he has either they were as square as Dillian, so they were in a better defensive position, or Povetkin wasn't quite as well placed.
Yeah.
But the shot that buckled AJ's knees was very similar.
It's a great shot.
Very similar.
Yeah.
So, and also the counter argument to what you said is there's no way the uppercut that AJ hit Dillian Whyte with was anywhere near the technique that Povetkin's was. And the Rivas uppercut wasn't anywhere near as good.
Yeah, that's correct.
And neither was the Parker uppercut.
That's right.
And I don't think so. Out of the two heaviest-handed punches that have put him away, one has done it with exquisite technique.
Yeah.
And the other one's done it with brute force. But let's say he got in the ring with Anthony Joshua again.
Yeah.
I think looking at things now as they stand, I think Joshua's the one. Whatever anybody thinks about Joshua's chin, I would say is more durable than Dillian at this time.
I think there's a strong argument to that.
So if it came down to it, how's he going to beat AJ? I've got some serious questions about how he's going to win this rematch. Because he was doing so well, and I'm not confident about his punch, resistance.
Question mark.
And as we've seen from Povetkin, he can be losing quite severely.
Well, that means that he's most dangerous, though.
If you actually watch the Pricey fight, I know it's Pricey, but everyone forgets Pricey does hit pretty hard.
Yes,
he pretty much knocked Povetkin across the ring not long before he got knocked out by Povetkin. So he definitely is a bit like Nigel Benn. If you hurt him, he might come and knock you out.
100%. 100%. That there is no doubt about that. There's no doubt whatsoever about that. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? I was going to do my thing. Okay, so motivation is my problem is that my problem is that Dillian Whyte's doing a great thing in taking on tough challenges, but sometimes you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table, because there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. And in plain English, there's a time for everything. Everything has its season. There's a time for taking a tough fight, time for taking an easy fight. Doesn't have to be cherry pick easy, but it's time for taking an easier fight. I think credit to Dillian Whyte for taking on such a tough opponent. But did he underestimate Povetkin? I think he did. And if I have a criticism of Dillian Whyte, I say to you, why were you trying to draw? Were you trying to draw comparisons with Anthony Joshua? Anthony Joshua fought Parker, then you went and fought Parker. Okay, cool. Dropped him for the first time in his career. Great. Anthony Joshua fought Povetkin, and then you went along and then fought Povetkin. Different outcome. I put it to you. I'm going to go to Phil Walker first. I put it to you. Would Dillian Whyte not have been better advised to go the Deontay Wilder trail and take on guys that Deontay Wilder had fought sometimes? Okay, take on Parker. Joshua fought Parker. You fight Parker. Fine. Now take on somebody that Deontay Wilder has fought previously. Take on an Ortiz, but Ortiz wouldn't take the fight for love nor money. Take on a Breezel. Take on one of Deontay Wilder's soft touches. Why not do that? Why make life hard for yourself? I remember when I was at college, one professor said to me, "Raf, play the game. Play the game, Raf." I didn't understand what he meant. It took me some while to understand. It's the moves that you make. Make the right moves. Make the right moves, Raf. Make the right moves. I said, oh, I think I understand. So my question to you, Phil Walker, would it not have been more prudent, more sensible in boxing terms for Dillian Whyte to take on a Joshua fight, somebody who fought Joshua previously, and then maybe take on somebody who fought Deontay Wilder previously, and then maybe take on somebody who fought Tyson Fury? But no, that level would be too low. He couldn't take on a Francesco Pianetta, nobody like that. So why not take on some of Deontay Wilder's exes to make life easier for yourself, particularly when you've already secured the position? Why not take on somebody Deontay Wilder fought? Phil Walker. Make life easy on yourself.
Well, let me say this right here, right? So he could have took on somebody that Wilder has previous fought, but I mean, if I want to be quite, I'm gonna be quite clear and honest about this. I think a fight with Luis Ortiz could very well have ended up the same way. Just to be honest with you, because to me personally, when you talk about boxing, you talk about skill level within the division. I think Luis Ortiz's boxing ability is fairly underrated and not mentioned as though it should be, considering he's a southpaw and he does fight behind his jab and throws very good combinations. So I think a fight with Ortiz probably could have ended up in the same way as a Povetkin fight did. Now, a fight with somebody. I doubt that, but I hear you. Yeah, carry on. Yeah. A fight with somebody like Dominic Breazeale, I think would be a much easier fight for Dillian Whyte. I think a very winnable fight.
Yeah.
Although Brazil is a pretty decent puncher.
Yeah.
I think Dillian White could probably get Brazil out of there at some point during the time.
Yeah.
Probably mid to late rounds, I would think.
Yeah.
Is he chasing Anthony Joshua? Well, I got two answers for that. I think yes, he is chasing Anthony Joshua, but I think the bigger picture is this right here. I think that these guys that they're making fights with are just guys that's easy to make fights with. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big hassle to make fights with these guys, such as a Povetkin. You know, Eddie's worked with Povetkin with the AJ fight, so he has a relationship there. With the Parkers of the world, he has a relationship there. You know, and these guys pretty good purses to come over and fight against AJ. He's going to play him a pretty good purse to come over and fight against Dillian, because guess what? Both of these fights are on pay-per-view. You know, each party, it's a win-win scenario. A fight against you beat Dillian White, that's a great name on your resume. Great payday. Must I add. So it's a win-win for each party when you build those kind of relationships. With that being said, Povetkin and Dillian is going to have a rematch, and I'm pretty sure it's probably going to make more money than the first fight, considering how it ended up. So again, it's a win-win for both guys. You understand what I'm saying? Dillian gets a chance to redeem himself. Povetkin gets a chance to make a great payday at 41 years of age, and still has a chance to say, hey, I'm still a force within the division. It's a win-win. It's just easier to make fights with certain guys that has a relationship with Matchroom. So I do think that has a big thing to play with it, because we know politics is a big deal within boxing in general, yet alone the heavyweight division. And do I think in the sense he's chasing
Let me stop you there. I'll come right back to you. Wild Soul, you've been on the sherry. Wild Soul, you've been drinking the sherry. Wild Soul says Wilder KOs Joshua inside 3 rounds. Joshua chin is weak. Wild Soul, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for you. There you go. Now come and talk that shizzle live. I challenge you. Come and talk that shizzle live. Sorry, Phil Walker, as you were saying.
Yeah. And you know, the other part to that is just I think in a sense he was, as I mentioned in my first statement earlier, I do think he is in a sense chasing Anthony Joshua, which to me is just ridiculous, because I mean, it's just not a good idea, because at the end of the day, you don't want to keep fighting this guy's leftovers, okay? Especially if you're fighting his leftovers and you're having a tougher time beating the guys than he is. You understand what I'm saying? So the comparison ratio is not working in your favor. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you were chasing his leftovers and you were doing something similar to what Manny Pacquiao was doing with Floyd Mayweather's leftovers and was scratching these guys like lotto tickets, then yeah, you could probably do something similar to that. That makes for good conversation. But when you're coming in these fights overweight, not in shape, not focused, and you're barely beating these guys, you're getting dropped by these guys, then it probably needs to be a point to where we need to advise you to take a different approach to this, Dillian. You understand what I'm saying? And this time, it absolutely 110% backfired on him because he got stopped. And just before I move on, before I end my statement, I also want to say that Mr. Wild Soul, about the comment he made earlier, as far as Wilder, as far as AJ not having a solid chin. Look, we can speculate all we want about certain stuff, but at the end of the day, I try to stick to facts as much as possible. Anthony Joshua has never been stopped by an opponent, okay, during a match, okay? If anything, he's gotten up off the cannons. Now, has he been rocked several times? Absolutely, 110%. So he can be hurt, But at the end of the day, he's never completely been finished in a match. Now, did Andy Ruiz beat him by TKO, technical knockout? Yes, absolutely. Andy Ruiz was the only person to be able to capitalize off of that, but that wasn't a knockout. It was a technical knockout, and the fight was stopped by the referee. Anthony Joshua was on his feet. So I'm not convinced just yet that AJ has a weak chin, but I am 110% that AJ can be hurt. But if you hurt him, you have to make sure you finish him. That's the only key. And with that, guys, I'm about to jump off. I'm
gonna ask you one last question if you can.
Okay,
one last question if you can.
Absolutely.
AJ was rocked. Is that too strong a term? Let's use the term rocked. AJ was rocked by what's his name? Little short fat Ruiz. Okay. AJ was rocked. Is that too strong a term? By Povetkin. Dillian White kind of rocked AJ as well. Those are the three people that I recall kind of, making Joshua kind of pay attention. Okay. So we're talking about Dillian White. We're talking about
Rafi, you've missed out Vlad.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Vlad. We're talking about Dillian White. We're talking about Vlad. We're talking about Andreas the Punch Ruiz, and we're talking about the Povetkin. I call him the Povetkin. So he was rocked by all of those people. Do you think and stopped by one? Do you think all of those people could rock Deontay Wilder?
Well, that's your question to me?
Yeah.
Well, let me say this right here. Do I think so?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we talking about rocking them, then yeah, we've seen Deontay Wilder. We don't even have to use those guys as an example.
Mm-hmm.
We can use guys that Deontay Wilder has fought against as examples for him being actually hurt during matches. Okay, Luis Ortiz hurt him. Tyson Fury stopped him.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury nearly killed Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder did finish the fight on his feet, similar to how AJ finished against Ruiz. Now it was
did Dominic Breezel rock Deontay when he was coming in the corner?
Well, I will say I don't know if he rocked him, but he absolutely 110% made Deontay Wilder back up and reset himself.
Yeah,
considering what was going down.
Yeah.
What about Eric Molina? Phil?
Yeah.
Eric Molina did hit him with a really good shot.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Molina did hit him with a really good shot. So, I mean, at the end of the day, these guys are heavyweights. At any given time, you can get your bell rocked.
Who dropped Deontay Wilder? Who dropped him?
Tyson Fury dropped him.
No, sorry, there was somebody else earlier.
Harold Skonies and Dustin Hot Dog Hoffman.
Oh yeah, that was I think that might have been his 5th fight or something like that, 6th fight.
Yeah, but nonetheless, we've seen Deontay Wilder rocked by far lesser opponents than we've seen rock Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is why I'm specifically I won't use AJ's opponents because I mean that's kind of
we don't have to go to AJ. We can look at the people he actually fought. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna look at the guy that he actually fought. Yeah,
we saw him busted up. We saw his face all lumped up by Johan Dubois? Was it Johan Dubois who busted up his face? He had swollen black eye.
He KO'd his eye.
Yeah, closed his eye. We're coming to you, Wild Soul. Don't worry.
I need to get in on that anyway.
Okay, but Phil's going. So I just want Phil to have his final words before he dips out.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, all these guys are heavyweights. At any given time, it may be you may not slip the punches. You may not step in the right spot. You may not slip the punch, and you may get caught. All these guys are considered to be not necessarily heavy hitters, but all these guys can knock you out at any given time with the proper technique.
Yes.
All these guys are professionals, and if you don't come in prepared, then it can be your day.
Yes.
So I say to these guys, approach this as a lifestyle, not as a job. And that will benefit you more than anything as far as preparing your body to go in there and withstand anything that comes your way. So for me, again, I appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate, the everybody who was listening in. I've already hit the like button. If you hadn't hit the like button, hit the like button. When I come in, it's always respect. I like to let me give my opinions, although we don't agree on very much. But that's what makes for a good show, right?
100.
So you guys take care, man. I will be tuning in to the show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys take care, man. Appreciate you.
100%. That was Phil Walker coming in, talking some sense. I don't know where Battles disappeared to, and I don't know where YG's disappeared to. Okay, but we're gonna go with John Dealey first, because it's his turn, and then we going with Wild Soul. Wild Soul, good to have you. Talk to you in a second. John Dealey.
So, what, same question?
Yeah, well, you said you wanted to come in, so boom, you're in.
Well, there was a few things I wanted to come in on.
Get in on it.
But some of them, they've slipped my mind because listening to the film. Getting old, right?
You're getting some of your old treatment from Phil. Carry on, John.
No, well, there's, with regards to chins in the heavyweight anyway, I want somebody to name me an all-time great who's never suffered a KO and never gone down on the canvas, because I don't think relying on your chin will end well for you in the heavyweight division. That's the first point. That's the first point. The second point is Vladimir Klitschko's got 53 KOs, and we talked about clean punching, proper technique, optimal delivery of your best punch. That straight right down the pipe, which is Vladimir Klitschko's best punch, landed clean on AJ, and he got up from it, where 53 other people failed to do so. Well, no, not 50, because he's had knockouts with left hooks. But normally, when Vlad lands that right hand on you, that's it, you're finished. Now, has AJ got a chin that's indestructible? No. Can he be hurt? Yes. But I want someone to show me a heavyweight with an indestructible chin. If we look at the people who have hurt him, they've all got good knockouts. They're proven knockout punchers, except for possibly Andy Ruiz. I'm not going to make any excuses for that. Andy Ruiz hit him with good shots and put him down and hurt him. But as Phil pointed out, every time he got up and he was on his feet, he looked as able to fight on as Deontay Wilder did when he was fighting Ortiz in the first fight. I think it was in the 7th round. When he had a bit of a timeout. But in this case, the referee decided to stop the fight, which is fine. That's the referee's job. Didn't hear AJ make any complaints. So, yeah, he can be hurt. But does he have a weak chin? I would say there's evidence to the contrary in the fact that he's been hurt with heavy shots, got up and gone on to win fights, which normally, if you have a weak chin, that's it. You wouldn't manage that.
Yes.
So with Deontay Wilder, if we're going to contrast it, he's been put down by Harold Sconius. And I know, are you all right with me mentioning another channel? Because there's another channel who's done a lot of work on this particular issue. Counter Punch Boxing, Kurt DeVille. He is still trying to get the footage for that fight, which I think happened in Mexico. It was when Deontay Wilder was on Golden Boy's roster. And there's some belief that Wilder was actually counted out.
Oh my gosh.
And it was out for more than 10 seconds, and that's why it's been buried. And it got buried by Golden Boy, who owned the rights to the fight, and it wasn't in America. That's why it can't be found.
Who won that fight?
According to the record, Wilder went on to knock out Sconius afterwards. But in the round where he was knocked down, Kurt has done a video on this recently, and he still hasn't got the footage. So it might not be true. But he believes that Wilder was out for more than 10 seconds. But because it was on a Golden Boy card in Mexico, he was allowed to fight on. And to be fair to him, he did go on and knock out his opponent.
Okay.
So that's that one. But we've certainly seen him hurt by Eric Molina.
Yes.
Who we've seen him there with AJ, who as soon as AJ opened up his hands, Eric Molina just disappeared.
Folded like laundry.
Yeah. We've seen him certainly made to stop and think about it against Brazil. And as for Tyson Fury, who is not a knockout puncher, we have seen him severely hurt by Tyson Fury to the point that he just got beaten up.
Yep.
Didn't win a second of the fight, but just got busted up.
Oh, pillow fists.
Yeah. And then Luis Ortiz, despite, it's a shame Phil's come off here for this. This is a man.
Yeah.
This is a man that went the distance with Hamer. Dave Allen ended on his feet against him. Couldn't get out Mansour. He's had some dreadful performances. And he's really living off his knockout victory over Bryant Jennings, which isn't necessarily that good. I mean, who's Bryant Jennings ever fought? He went 12 rounds against Klitschko, who's very content to coast to a decision.
Yeah.
So to try and make out like Wilder is more durable than AJ, it's very difficult to create that argument. They might have the same level of durability in what we've seen, but AJ's been definitely hurt by the heavier punches, or certainly punches with a better knockout ratio than Tyson Fury.
Okay. So, just repeat that last sentence, please.
So they might have equal durability to punches because we've seen them both hurt.
Yeah.
We've never seen either of them completely knocked out like Dillian White was against Povetkin. They've both ended fights on their feet when they've lost. Oh, that's what I wanted to get in on. The Ju Haupas fight.
Right.
Wilder didn't actually put Ju Haupas down. Ju Haupas was stopped on his feet. It was a technical stoppage. And Wilder was going to win the fight.
Yeah.
But he didn't at any point actually look like he was going to stop Ju Haupas from walking forward and throwing that left jab that kept catching Wilder and closed his eye. However, what I was saying was there's no proof to suggest that one is more durable than the other at this point. But what we can see is the punchers who've hurt AJ, with the possible exception of Andy Ruiz, so Povetkin, Dillian White, and Vladimir Klitschko, are proven knockout punchers in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Eric Molina and Harold Sconias are not proven punchers in the heavyweight division.
Okay.
And Tyson Fury is borderline.
Yeah. Mr. Pillow Fists. Okay. So, Wild Soul, you've been very patient. Thank you for that, John. You've been very patient. And now, my friend, good to have you again. Now, my friend, which world-ranked heavy punches has Deontay Wilder faced? Because I put it to you, Wild Soul. I put it to you that Anthony Joshua has faced a number of world-ranked, world-renowned heavy punches. And I put it to you that Deontay Wilder has not. Minus maybe Ortiz, but even that's a stretch. Wild Soul, talk to me. Talk to me, baby.
Hey, listen, as far as the Fury thing,
yeah,
if John can say Wilder was possibly knocked out early in his career with no proof,
yeah,
I can say that.
Wild Soul dropped off. They're gonna say, Rafa, you cut him off. No, I have not. Wild Soul's dropped off, and I expect he's gonna
just put the link back in the chat.
Put the link back in the chat. Boom.
Clear up any accusations, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So the link is it there? Yeah, it's there. Boom. It's there. So we're gonna give Wild Soul because we're coming to the close of the show, but we're gonna give Wild Soul an opportunity, the American perspective, to come on in and answer the question. And the question is, Anthony Joshua has fought world-renowned heavy punchers. So my question is, who has Deontay Wilder fought who was a world-renowned heavy puncher? Wild Soul has returned. The return of Wild Soul. So, to be clear, Wild Soul, my question is, Anthony Joshua has fought world-renowned heavy punchers. That is to say, people who are world-renowned for their heavy punches. He's fought a multiple of them. Off the top of my head, I will say Dillian White is world-renowned heavy puncher, unquestionably. First man, the only man ever to drop Joseph Parker. Before that, I would say Dr. Steelhammer, world-renowned heavy puncher. That's two. Who else, John? Yeah, so it's for at least two.
Povetkin.
Povetkin, sorry. So he's fought 3 world-renowned heavy punchers and survived them. And so my question to you, my dear fellow, Wild Soul, is what world-renowned heavy punchers has Deontay Wilder faced?
Okay, I just want to start.
Yeah.
Pick up where you left off. You said you fought these 3 world-renowned big punchers.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the 4th one that got him out of there.
Who's the 4th one?
Ruiz.
Okay.
Andy Ruiz got him out of there.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
And
so said Andy Ruiz, Rafi.
Sorry.
He said Andy Ruiz got him out of there, which is true.
Yeah, I said cool.
Yeah. And if John is to say that he heard Wilder got knocked out early in his career, well, counted out, should have been counted out early in his career, and there's no proof of that. I can also say that Tyson Fury had the pattern taken out of his gloves and possibly plaster of Paris in his hand wraps, or no hand wraps at all.
We saw the hand
and
wraps.
That's how he got Wilder out of there.
We saw the hand wraps.
He cheated somehow. That's possible. I'm gonna go with that narrative. If Wilder got stopped early in his career or got counted out, and then But no, but I mean the argument is to have a fair argument about that. All what you guys are saying is true in terms of no heavyweight basically being unscathed, because I try to say Rocky Marciano, but he's been dropped a couple of times in his career. Yeah. So
he got dropped by Archie Moore, who's a light heavyweight.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's an old light heavyweight
right.
as well.
But the point is he wasn't knocked out, but he was dropped.
Yeah.
Like Ali was never knocked out, he was dropped.
Yeah.
And he was stopped.
He was stopped by Holmes, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was stopped by his corner, really. So he was able to continue to fight, but it was just taking a beating.
Who stopped him?
Holmes.
Larry Holmes.
Yeah, that's
he was an old man.
Yeah, and Dundee stopped the fight in the corner.
He was an old man at that stage.
Yeah, but ultimately,
he was taking a beating.
Ultimately, Raf, all heavyweights who are all great heavyweights have been stopped at some point in their career, is what I said.
You remind me who stopped Joe Louis?
Rocky Marciano.
Max Schmeling.
Marciano.
I'm not really counting Marciano. That was the end of his career as well, past his prime, but okay, fair enough.
I mean, then you don't have to count Holmes with Ali if that's the case. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it happened.
But it happened, Raf. That's the point.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But still, Wild Soul, because we're coming to the end of the show now, because I got to do another show to cover the Dubois thing. I'm going to have to take a break, of course, before that. To answer the question, though, Wild Soul,
yes,
Deontay Wilder, it is my contention that Deontay Wilder has not faced the heavy hitters that Anthony Joshua has faced.
Hey, he was in there with a couple of them.
Tell me. Talk to me.
Ortiz is not one of the biggest punchers in the division.
When has Ortiz ever demonstrated that he's the biggest? He's one of the biggest punchers in the division.
He has quite a few knockouts
Against low-ranking opponents. When I say, let me make this clear. No,
the guys that they put in front of him, man.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Yeah. But Wild Soul, can I just
no.
on that?
Let me just make my point. Let me just make my point. When I say world-renowned, you see, that's why I say world-renowned heavy punches.
I understand what you said.
So my question to you is, I can name you the world-renowned heavy punches that Anthony Joshua has faced. And it's ain't a trick question. I just genuinely would like to know from a Wilder fan, what world-renowned heavyweight butt punches has he faced? Because I think there's a poor...
He faced Ortiz.
One. Carry on. I've given you three.
You asked me that,
I've given you
I
three.
told you.
I'm giving you three. Give me Wilder's three world-renowned heaviest punches. Give me three. You're giving me one who I dispute, but carry on. Let me go.
What's his name? Chris Arreola.
I'll bring up Boxtrick for you.
Chris Arreola is a puncher.
Okay, Chris
Get
Arreola.
guys out of there.
Chris Arreola is a low-ranking guy.
Man, he fought for the title, man. Come on.
Fought for the title. He did for well, you could say Breezel then. Why didn't you say Breezel? Because Breezel stopped some people. Why didn't you say Breezel?
Yeah, Breezel. Yeah, you gave me three. Yeah, there you go. Three. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that's cool. So Deontay Wilder's best three heavyweight heavy hitters that he's fought are Chris Arreola. Where are we? Let me share this. Chris Arreola. Who else did you say? You said Chris Arreola. You said Breezel.
Ortiz in Brazil.
Yes.
Okay, so that is poor. That is poor, my friend. That is poor. You know what I'm saying?
That's a matter of opinion.
No.
Well, can I just ask Wild Soul a question quickly?
Yes.
Sure.
Wild Soul, who do you think hits harder, Luis Ortiz or Vladimir Klitschko?
I don't know. Maybe Klitschko.
Maybe
okay.
Klitschko.
So that's 1-0 to Joshua.
Let's take it further. Who do you think hits harder, Povetkin or Breezel?
Maybe Breezel.
okay, fine.
Yeah, but that's okay because AJ's fought Breezel anyway, so that just gives AJ 4.
And Povetkin, yeah. So 4. Okay, so we added on to 4. Okay, fine. So who do you think hits harder? We got Steele or Dillian White or Arreola?
Arreola.
Okay, so that adds another one to Joshua because he fought both of them guys too.
No, AJ hasn't fought Arreola, bro.
Who did he fight? Arreola. Who's the other guy?
No, he hasn't fought Arreola.
Okay, Molina. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Molina a heavy hitter as well? Because he's on Wilder's resume. Wild Soul.
He rocked Wilder. Wilder came back and got him out of there.
Oh, that's still 5 because Joshua.
Yeah, he got him out of there.
Joshua fought Molina, so that's another one.
I didn't put him on the list. I just said he rocked Wilder. That's all. I didn't put him on the list. I got to give it more thought. I got to run down the box rec, like you said. Well, he had so many fights. It was like, what, 42 knockouts or something like that? 41 knockouts. I
might have to put the link in the chat to the debate we had when we broke down Deontay Wilder's resume, and it was piss poor.
Okay.
So if those
well,
are the best
I've got a cheeky little question for Wild Soul.
Yes.
Let me just ask him one question, Raf. How many cruiserweights has Anthony Joshua fought?
Oh Lord.
Probably none.
And how many cruiserweights has Wilder fought?
I'm not sure about that question. I don't know how many.
This ain't gonna end well. This ain't gonna end well, Cole. You're not gonna like the number. You're not gonna like the number.
What's
I'm
the
actually
number?
gonna have to check. I'll have to check it because I think it's in double figures. I think it's more than 10.
I think it's 11. It's 11. Okay. We did the breakdown. We did the breakdown. I need to find that and post up the link, bro. I'm damn busy. Before we go to the what do you call him, Daniel Dubois fight. Your final words, John D. Lee. Are you working tonight?
Well, in the morning, yeah. I'll be at work early doors.
Okay.
Just to be fair, what I did actually say was, on the proof and evidence that we've got, I haven't got any more proof that Anthony Joshua is more durable than Wilder. But there's no proof, in my opinion, to show that Wilder is more durable than Anthony Joshua either. That's actually what I said.
Okay, you got a point there.
So on the evidence, the one time they've both been stopped, they both got stopped on their feet, and we've seen them both hurt.
That's true.
But I think Joshua has been hurt by the higher level of opposition.
Yeah. Are you disputing that, Wild Soul?
Well, I would say that Fury's a hell of a puncher. And so is Ortiz.
Pure's pillar-handed. And Ortiz.
No, I mean not Fury, Ortiz.
Ortiz
is... Yeah, if you want to have Ortiz, that's one. But I don't think Ortiz hits as hard as Klitschko. So if we just take the... Well, no, but if we just go for the best versus the best...
Okay, yeah. So Ortiz is Wilder's best and Klitschko is Joshua's best, arguably.
Yeah. So if you just go down to that level...
Josh, I mean,
he's been hurt by the better...
Klitschko was an old man. He got up off the couch to fight Joshua.
He's no older than Povetkin. He was no older than Povetkin.
You mean Ortiz?
Hey.
Ortiz,
Everybody.
How old is he now? Are you trying to tell me Ortiz is young?
Klitschko was like 45 now or something like that.
No. We're talking about when he was in the ring. You can't just add years on just for the fun.
I'm trying to figure out how they're the same age.
41, 42.
All right. I would say that
is 40.
When they fought, he was 2 years older than Ortiz. However,
Ortiz is 50.
No, based on given ages, Raf.
Okay.
I think Ortiz was 39 in the last fight.
Okay.
But power is the last thing to go anyway.
Yeah.
And he had 2 training camps and he was in great shape. If you look at the weight that Ortiz put on, every time they announced the Wilder fights, he had a food baby. He was doing a Dillian White, getting very fat in between fights.
Yeah.
Or Klitschko's a gym rat. He's still in shape now. Have you seen him now? He's still ripped. He's still ripped now.
To this day.
He's a gym rat. He doesn't get fat in between fights. Ortiz does. Mm-hmm. If you go and find a picture of Luis Ortiz now, I guarantee you he will be overweight. He was overweight both times they announced the Wilder fights. Both times.
I heard they give the fighters, a lot of them defected because they got 3 meals a day. No snacks or nothing. Just 3 meals. That's it.
Who gets that? Who gets those 3 meals?
No, I think, is that the Cuban fighters? Is that the Cuban fighters? Yeah, I can believe that.
They don't eat a lot. They don't have a lot of, they don't eat a lot of food. They're very regimented with what they eat. Yeah, they're on strict diets over there. So when they get here, they lose their mind. They got a full refrigerator now. They got all these restaurants to go to. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine that you're a fan of Big Daddy Bo.
Yes.
But you know what that happened to him. Yeah, so that isn't a good.
Yeah, I know. He finished himself. He built the house, and he built the kitchen in his bedroom.
So
now allegedly he's got no house and he's got no kitchen and he's got no chicken to put in the kitchen.
And if you look at someone like Povetkin, he has weighed in between 220 and 229 for every single one of his fights since he turned pro.
Oh, the other day I told Ralphie that I had mentioned how Povetkin is always in shape.
Yeah.
So
he's never out of shape.
So if you're gonna have a longer career, you need to always be in shape. And if you look into Vlad had he had two cancelled training camps because he was supposed to have the rematch with Fury. Vlad pulled out of one, and then Fury pulled out the other one, and that's what he was doing. What in between fighting Fury and fighting AJ, so he wasn't sitting on the couch. He might have had some ring rust. If you want to say he had ring rust, that's fine. But he had two documented training camps, and there's footage from the camps and everything. He had sparring, everything.
I got you. You made a valid point. John D. Lee, you made a great point when you said that.
What was the point?
No, the point that he made that no fighters, heavyweight fighters go unscathed.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody takes the canvas, and you're talking about the all-time greats.
Yeah.
Or they get stopped. It's true.
Yeah.
Even though Ali and Holmes, they was old at the time, but they still happened regardless.
Yes. And with that, I'm satisfied that we've chopped and cooked this thing up tremendously. Tone up in the building. I recognize recognize your name now, Tone. You're over there with Beeb. So I saw you. That's where I recognize your name from. Okay, that's good. Shizzle. Tanaris Robinson's from Memphis, Mississippi area is in the building. But I'd like to thank everybody, all the panelists, everybody who jumped on. I'd like to thank everybody. Oh my God, how did this last 3 hours? I'd like to thank everybody who came into the chat. I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to encourage everybody to smash the like button, whether you're on the panel or in the chat. Smash the like button, whether you're watching it now or in the future. Smash the like button. I'd like to encourage everybody who's not subscribed to hit the subscribe button. I'd like to encourage everybody who knows how to share on your social medias so we can spread the good word. John D. Lee, Wild Soul, Phil Walker, YG, Battle, everybody. I hope I haven't missed anybody. Everybody, I'd like to say thank you. Any final words, John D. Lee?
Yeah, it's just always good to chat things up with people from America. I think we had a good, sensible debate, and everybody got a chance to speak. So yeah, good talking to you, Wild Soul.
Likewise, John D. Lee. This was good. Another good one, Rafi.
Yeah, you know.
And you redeemed yourself last night. You didn't get totally washed. So I don't know what they out there saying about you, but it sounds like it's overrated. We had a good time and we enjoyed it. Just had a good time. It was fun.
A tremendously good time.
That's how I look at it. I don't know about the other part. We joked about that stuff, about you getting poked in school and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was all in jest. We was having a good time.
It was all in good fun. It was all in good fun. People chopping it up, having good boxing debates, conversation, good fun. It was a perfect balance. It was a perfect balance of knowledge and fun. So if anybody wants to get butt hurt out there, then be my guest. Go ahead. It don't affect me none. It don't slow my roll. Rafi just keeps on rolling. I don't know if you had those Tonka trucks. I don't know if you had Tonka trucks over there in America, but we had these. Yeah, we had these trucks over here, little toys, and they could just keep
the dump trucks and all that.
Yeah.
The cement truck.
Yeah. That's the one. Keep rolling. So anybody who wants to talk any kind of nonsense, be my guest. The link is always available to you. So anybody out there feeling butthurt, all I can do is recommend you go purchase yourself some Preparation H and get well soon. You know what I'm saying? Get well soon. And to everybody else, everybody, much appreciate your time. And we're going live a little bit later on. And so this is it. Wild Soul. Everybody, much appreciation. And catch everybody. Absolutely, always, 100%. And catch everybody who's coming on later for the Daniel Dubois fight and the Sonny Edwards fight. Probably go live, about 8:30? In between 8:30 and 9, for sure. We'll catch the two last fights of that card, the two big fights. So, Wild Soul and everybody else, all I can say to you, Until later is blessed.